I look a little silly tonight. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm so excited to be here again doing another live. If you didn't catch me, next week is going to be a members only live, and you will have another chance to win a set of my Atrodice. But if you want to be able to possibly win one of those, join the member only live next week. Otherwise, I will see you the following Tuesday. And also let me know in the comments if you guys would maybe find some benefit in having like a schedule of like when I'm going to go live up. I hope you can see my face okay. But I was thinking about like putting something on my website, but I don't know if you guys would check it enough because I know my schedule is just kind of like a little wonky. And so sometimes it might be better to just like check my website and see exactly what dates I would be on. So yes, let me know about that and a quick couple of updates for you guys. So tonight is basically full moon themed. I think technically, oh my gosh, my tongue is really red because I ate a Jolly Rancher. Technically, tomorrow night is the full moon. So tonight's outline is sort of going to be about the full moon, what energies to expect. But I'm going to keep it pretty open because I have a lot that I want to get to tonight, including giving away a set of these Atrodice. So I'm going to let you guys decide tonight which one you want to fight for. So we have our normal kind of like Halloween orange and black set, and then we have our cloudy kind of orange dice. There are pumpkins in the middle of these, but it's a little hard to see. Or our clear Atrodice with the pumpkins in the center. So let me know which one you guys want to try to win tonight. Again, members only live. You guys will also get a chance to win one of these two that are left. And then also join me on my Instagram. So I have a giveaway going on with a few other makers here in Colorado. And so we're giving away this box, and it has a really cool painting in it from a local artist here in Colorado. What else does it have? It has some crystals in it. It has a spell candle, which is super cool. And you're going to get a free 30-minute reading from me, Atrodice set, instructions on how to use the Atrodice. So this is the actual one that's going to come in the box. So these ones are also kind of the orange and black style. So we have two of those technically. But one is just for the box winner. And you're going to get all sorts of other little goodies in that box. I just can't remember them all off the top of my head, but follow me on Instagram, follow the rules to join that giveaway. Otherwise, those are kind of the rest of the giveaways for October. Yeah, welcome guys. Hello, Cheyenne. Thank you. This hat is so like, you can tell I have not given it the proper love. I've just like tossed it in a box. It's like a sexy Halloween witch costume that I used to have that I totally do not fit in anymore. And I actually bought a really fancy chat so that I can take it to events, but it didn't come in time for tonight. I have 5 Halloween parties that I'm doing this year, you guys, possibly 6. It's gonna be a rough year. Not rough, but you probably won't see me a lot online because this is like my busiest time of the year. I have so many parties on the weekends that I'm showing up at, doing readings. I do have a little bit more availability if you're in Colorado, but I know that's not a whole lot of you here online. Hello, Virginia. Thank you, Devin. Hey, Lori. I like all of them. I can't decide. And I'll show you guys again. So I do have a timer set. I have a timer set for our free reading for a member that comments the closest to whenever the timer goes off. And then when my second timer goes off, we're going to stop and do the Atrodice giveaway where I'm going to quiz you guys. And whoever guesses the answer, it's kind of a harder quiz. Whoever guesses the answer will get the reading. You're going to Salem? Oh, bucket list. Oh, that's so exciting. I wish I could go there. That's like, again, on my bucket list. Let's see. Any other announcements? Oh, Halloween videos this month. Obviously, you guys have seen probably, I want to say half of them. And this month I also did a member only video of my filming process. So if you guys are ever curious of like how I film my videos, especially for those of you who want to create like pick a card readings or you want to do something similar, or maybe you just want to create your own content and you want to know how I do that, I kind of did this really, really long video. It ended up being like almost an hour of like how I make all my videos. So you actually get to see the behind the scenes of how I made all the videos that I made this month. So this week is going to be a Halloween pick-a-card. I bought a new deck specifically for it, and we're going to be using it tonight. I'm so excited. The Halloween Oracle, and I will say I've already used it a few times, and I thought it was going to be kind of like cheesy, like, oh, Halloween, but it's actually a really great deck because the descriptions in the booklet are super in depth, and like one of these cards is like trick or treat, and the way they describe like trick or treat is so like romantic, and like the way they describe it just makes you like fall in love with Halloween. And I don't know, I just absolutely love this deck. And if you're curious and want to get it for yourself, I linked it in the description down below. So like Black Cat is one of them. Hearth is one of them. And I've been using it in my normal readings as well, and I'm actually surprised at how well it works. And I did ask the deck, I always do this anytime I buy a new deck. I say, hey deck, what should I use you for? And I pulled this card, which was Eternal Love. And I immediately was like, oh, connecting with loved ones on the other side. So I think I might use this pretty often for the mediumship readings that I do. And that's actually going to be the video that goes up on Friday. It's connecting with loved ones in spirit. So that was very interesting filming that, basically connecting to a ton of spirits at once, but kind of trying to dilute it down into one message. So I had a lot of fun doing that. That will be up this Friday. I could use this pick-a-card tonight. Yes, and we will do a group reading here in a second, and I've got 3 piles already. So if you need to sit and kind of tune into which pile is for you, pile 1. I'm just doing 2 cards tonight. Pile 2 and pile 3. Let's see. And so I think there's only 2 more videos for the rest of our Halloween season. So we have the pick-a-card this week, and then next week, cross my fingers, or cross your fingers for me, you guys. I really am trying to get into this mansion. They have to get permission. I don't know if it's going to happen. I probably shouldn't even be saying it, but I went and met with them. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you probably saw it in my stories, but they're super jazzed about it, but they just have to get permission for me to be able to film. And so I'm just hoping and praying that that works out. And if it does, I am literally filming it next week, editing it next week, and putting it up next week. So it's going to be a very tight week for me tomorrow, or next week, but I really hope it happens. If not, I've got an extra video planned, and then back into November, we'll do some more how-to videos. I know you guys are probably waiting on those, but I wanted to do some fun October videos just for me. Fingers crossed. Thank you. Thank you, Elsa. You like the dark orange dice. Okay, that's 1 vote for the dark orange dice. Did we have anybody else pick one? We'll see. I always go for the same number. Manifest that mansion. Oh my gosh, it was so cool in person. I'm so excited. I hope. But it's one of those things that they have to get the boss's approval. So, but I'm so excited. And the great thing too is my husband is planning on coming along with me, so I'm actually gonna have somebody to film me. So I'm not gonna have to be like doing this thing with the camera where I'm trying to read, trying to film. It would just be too much of a mess. And I'm going at nighttime if I go, which I'm kind of freaked out by a little bit. Before I was like, hey, we can do it in the daytime, like not here to make it sensationalistic anyway. And turns out the only time they can do it is at night. So I'm going to have to like extra put up boundaries. We'll see how it goes. But I'll probably be putting it up in my stories if it goes according to plan. So yeah, hopefully I don't get you guys excited and it doesn't work out. I really hope that doesn't happen. This is my way of manifesting it into existence. So yeah, member only video next week. If you're a member, put it in your calendar in case you don't get a notification. And homework for that, because we are going to be practicing mediumship and reading other people's energy, jump on over to my Facebook group. And I did sort of start a chat for those of you who are going to be in that, and it's a place where we can share photos of loved ones that have passed, so we can read each other's family members before we come to next week's live. I hope that makes sense. I'll try to remind you guys again before we wrap up tonight. Okay, I know that's a lot of announcements. I planned a lot for October. October is just like the month to be a psychic, and so I have a lot going on. All right, let's get into the message for everyone. Oh, and I will say the reason why I was not here last week was I was taking a class. It's been so long since I've been taking a class. And this book is from the class that I took. That is a loud airplane. Holy cow. So this class, I took a candle magic class, and I thought it was going to be like a flame reading class, like fire scrying, but it actually ended up being all about like spells and doing like candle spells. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess this is what this is, but it's pretty cool. So if you ever wanted to learn about it, I highly recommend this book. It is just kind of like a paper book, but it's cheap because of that. They might sell it at your local metaphysical store. You never know. You could always ask. But it's got great little diagrams. And I will say, Rena is the one that I learned all the shamanic stuff from. I took her classes years ago here. She also teaches tarot, and I'm actually taking her tarot course right now. I did week 1 last week of 5 sessions, and I'm thrilled about that. And I'll share more about that as I go through it. But this is basically just how to do like spells, like very basic, very introductory level. And I really like her attitude, because she's very much like, these old books will say, don't do it this way, or you're going to go to hell, or you're going to, have this bad thing happen. And she's very much like, no, it's all about your intention. It's all about like, if you don't have the perfect color of candle, it's not going to backfire. And so she's very kind of like similar energy to me, I would say, in some ways. So yeah, Candle Magic, Simple Workings, Bright Invitings by Rena Sesho. I should have linked it in my description. I'll throw it in the comments when I'm all wrapped up. So if you're ever interested in learning about candle magic, that's a cool book. Cool. Okay, let's get in the message for everybody. So group reading for tonight, we're doing pick a card, because I've been enjoying doing this. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. So if you need to pause, take a second, feel free. I'm just going to catch up on these comments. It is exciting, Crystal. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I hope it works. The picture was awesome. What picture? Oh, yeah. On my Instagram stories. Yeah, it's a beautiful mansion. It was more beautiful than I remembered it being, and I hadn't been there in years. I vote cloudy. Okay, that's 1 vote for the cloudy pumpkins, 1 vote for the plain orange and black. I get to film anywhere you want to. Thank you, Virginia. And I do plan on doing more of these. I just really wanted to get it up before October. And they wanted to too, because they've got Halloween events going on. So it could help them, get more traffic going to their door. But yeah, if you are in Colorado and you want to do a ghost hunting thing, they are going to do one. I think it's like the last Thursday of the month. I don't know who's leading it, but they're actually like getting a bunch of people in there. And I don't know if they give you drinks, but they're handing out like, is it EVP monitoring systems, like the electronic equipment for detecting ghosts. And I think they set you loose in the house to detect ghosts in the house. So if you're in Colorado and you want to do that, take advantage of that. I don't know if they're sold out yet, but hey, Michael. I got my Moonology manifestation deck today. That's so weird, Lori. You're the second person I've heard that from today. Maybe I need to check it out, because it's different than the Moonology one, right? Because these ones are just the normal Moonology cards. I think they're different. Thank you, Mo. It's my candy corn, very crumpled witch hat. You vote Cloudy too? Okay, that's 2 votes for Cloudy. What are we voting on? So when my timer goes off the second time, I'm doing my second Atrodice giveaway. So we have, and I don't care which ones we give away, so I'm just letting you guys choose. So this is kind of like a really dark orange and black. And then we have the cloudy dice. They're kind of like cloudy, sparkly white, but they have pumpkins in the center. You can't see it on the camera, but you can see them in person. And then I have clear ones. So they're not even painted, but they have the pumpkins in the center of these as well. So those are what we're voting on tonight. And whatever ones we don't get to, we'll move over into next week's member only live. So Heidi won last week, and Heidi, I don't know if you'll watch replay or if you're here, I apologize. I sent it to her and I did the postage wrong and it came back to me. So I think she only just got it today. But I also will put the Atrodice instructions up on my blog for you guys. It's like on my list of things to do. So that will be a thing whether or not you buy the Atrodice from me or not. Oh, and that being said, I did put the Atrodice up on my website for purchase, even though, I have them up for purchase now. And I will say, members, next week, I'm going to give you a discount code. So if you want a discount code, maybe come next week. All right. I vote cloudy as well. Okay, I think that's 3 for cloudy, 1 for orange, 1 for clear. We'll see. We'll see as we go on. Alrighty, let's do pile number 1. So for all of these piles for the group, I asked kind of like what we needed to know for the full moon that's coming up, because I was kind of researching what this full moon is about, and I really got the energy that it's just going to be different for everybody. So I think it's a full moon in Aries, and the energy was very much like, don't fight with people, lay low, like try to be compassionate, try not to get heated about things. Like Aries is the god of war. I'm probably butchering a lot of it. I wish I did a little bit more research, but I did share some other people that know more than me on my Instagram stories if you're wanting to know what the full moon is about. And I will say that this candle magic book actually kind of goes into detail on how to manifest during moon cycles. So if you're interested in that as well, this book is really cool. I'll teach you guys a really cool trick that I learned from this class. Except for I never know if my thing is mirrored. But everybody put your hands out in front of you and kind of make like this symbol. I always think of it as 303. We have a band here in Colorado. They go 3 because 1, 2, 3, 0, 3. But anyway, and so what you want to do, this is a trick for learning if the moon is waxing or waning. And if you're never sure and you don't want to check an app on your phone, you can use your hands. And basically you start with your right hand. So keep your right hand up. I don't know if I'm mirrored or not. So this is my right hand and I'm looking at it. So it's creating, well, you just look at your own hand, but it's creating a circle in a certain way, a shape. And so if the moon can fit into this shape, then you know that it's waxing. So that means it's getting bigger. You're getting closer and closer to a full moon. And then basically what happens is you go from your right, you have a full moon. So, we know what we do on full moons. We want to welcome things in. We want to invite things in. That's basically what waxing means. So anything you want to manifest, you bring in anytime that it's on that right hand or anytime it's in a full moon cycle. And then if you want to let something go, you want to do this during the waning cycle. So the moon is waning, it's getting smaller, and that'll be any time that it fits in your left hand. And you'll sort of see it'll kind of get smaller and smaller and smaller, and then you got no moon, basically. And then you start over again on your right hand. So that's such a cool tip that I was just like, oh, mind blown. And now every night I'm like, ooh, ooh, ooh. But that's a cool way of remembering it both with your hands, but then also, understanding, okay, should I be letting go of things or should I be inviting things in? So I feel like I have a few rituals on my YouTube channel. If you're really interested in it, leave me a comment and I can point you guys to it after the stream is over. But I think tomorrow night is the full moon. So bring in something that you want to manifest. Long story. That's kind of the general full moon vibe that we're getting. But individually, we're going to go for pile 1, 2, and 3. Ooh, I'm feeling good stuff, though, for everybody. So pile 1, you are good enough. Ooh, and forgiveness, reducing burden. So for you, pile number one, what you guys need to be focused on, and even if you're not like super into the full moon or necessarily doing things in an astrological way, it really could just be this week. You know, what are the energies that you want to bring in this week? And it's definitely for group number one, it's like you guys definitely need to let go of things that you're telling yourself that you're not good enough for. You guys are beating yourself up and saying, "Oh, I screwed up this, I screwed up that, or I'm not good enough at that, I'm not good enough at this." And basically, even though the energy of the full moon is to welcome things in, I'm also getting for you guys, it's very important to also let things go. Forgive yourself, let go of the things in the past. I think I'm hearing for some of you also to forgive other people, forgive the situations that didn't happen like they were supposed to. Definitely step into a mode of forgiveness for this full moon, pile number one, because you are good enough. And the self-sabotaging is not helping you manifest anything that you want. And sometimes when we can, and I feel like I've been going through this lesson a lot lately of understanding that as soon as you stop beating yourself up and trying to control everything, it just allows the energy to invite in new things a lot easier. And it's like you don't try to control things. And then when opportunities come your way, you're more willing to accept them because you're not so like, "Oh, I don't deserve this," if that makes sense. So pile number one, you are good enough, and time to forgive yourself. For you guys, I feel like your moon ritual should actually be like taking a ritual bath of self-care. I knew I was going to pull this card tonight. Okay. Second pile. If you chose pile number two, this is the group reading. Full moon in Libra. That's interesting because I think we just had a Libra, or no, we're in Libra season. So I feel like for you guys, this really feels like the energy that's coming in. It says a win-win outcome is in forecast. I feel like, if things have been really rough lately, especially in like relationships, this is a sign that it's going to get better. Like the scales are being balanced. And the fact that it's in Libra is kind of about relationships and harmony. And then I pulled Barmbrack, sweetness and synergy. And without getting into the really long details of this card, basically this is like a cool bread that you bake and you put a bunch of things inside of it and then you serve it to like a group of friends. And then depending on like who gets what in their piece of bread, it like means certain things. So like I can't remember what you put into it, but there's like a pea, I want to say like a ring or something. And so if somebody gets the piece with the ring, then it means something significant. I can't remember all the details of it, but what I love about this card is it's about bringing people together. It's about sharing. I'm hearing burdens, and I feel like for you guys, maybe relationships have been a little tough lately, and this is saying it's coming to an end. Come together. Like if you don't have Halloween plans with friends or family, like maybe schedule those. It could just be friends. But this is very much about like coming together and creating this bread. I think my guys are saying the stuff inside is less important. That's just kind of like a cool fact about the what kind of bread this is or what tradition this is. But it's more about bringing the energies of everyone together into a combined synergy, sweetness and synergy. There is a sweetness in the combined energy of everyone coming together and celebrating successes, especially because a win-win outcome is in forecast. I really feel like pile number two, whatever you guys have been trying to manifest, there's something about being around other people that's really going to, I feel like it's more about they're going to affirm and recognize, oh, you've done so much, you've grown so much, this is so awesome. I feel like this is a moment of recognition and celebration for you. And I feel like that's just going to make you, I don't know, it's like it'll force you to celebrate because I feel like you don't celebrate enough your small successes or even your big successes. I'm just like hearing the word receive for pile number two. For you guys, like good things are coming. And it's important to like receive them, celebrate them, and share them with everybody. It's kind of like that harvest attitude of like baking the bread, sharing it with everyone, enjoying it together. All right, I'm like behind. Can't wait to get my Atrodice. Heidi, I think it said it was delivered today, so go check your mailbox. I hope it got there. Hopefully no one stole it. But I got a notification that it got delivered. Okay. Hi, Mama Odie. Oh, is that 2 for the orange ones now? Manifestation deck just released. Gotcha. Oh, that's crazy, Elsa. Doing my best to stay away from people. Dark orange dice. Oh, I think we're tied for the dark orange dice and the cloudy dice. Let's see. Spot on for number 2. Okay, so number 3. Expect powerful change. New moon and eclipse. I do feel like this new moon is going to be pretty big for a lot of us, and I think it's also because we're just coming out of a retrograde. I'm curious, how did retrograde retreat? Where are my words tonight? How did Mercury in retrograde treat you guys? I feel like I went by unscathed literally until the last day, and basically the last day, water damage all over my house. And now we have a big project to fix now. And I was like, dang it, I thought I made it out unscathed, but nope. Okay, anyway, so expect powerful change. See, and it says new moon and eclipse, which is interesting because that's like almost the exact opposite of what's going on right now. And I think that's sort of the message, is like you guys have probably been in the exact opposite mode of just feeling like things have not been working out. Things have been grinding. Like, I feel like, again, that Mercury retrograde might have hit you guys the hardest. And so, even if you believe in it or not, it could just be that the last couple of weeks have been really tough. I know I've been kind of getting into astrology lately more and talking about it and kind of imposing it on you guys, probably unwillingly, but I'm interested in it, so I'm talking about it a lot. And I think that this energy is going to be very powerful. Like, I'm feeling both bad and good. It's like here to shake up the energy. It's here to change things. It's here to bring in new things. Let's see what your second card is. Ooh, risk and reward, apple. And I haven't read the description to this, but I'm kind of getting like Snow White vibes. Okay. Like, it's very clear to me for pile number 3 that you have 2 choices in front of you. You can either play it safe or you can really go after it and be risky and daring. And if you're afraid and you're playing it safe, things are going to be a lot rougher. If you're being riskier and daring and choosing and, just kind of going with the flow, I think you're going to manifest things a lot easier. It almost feels like, whatever you're trying to bring into your life will almost come easier because you're just, I don't like the word risk because it implies like doing something naively or not smart or like well thought out, but I'm just getting the energy of being confident and not being afraid, just going after the things you want to go for. And they're showing me like, if you have an idea, just start on it. Don't wait for permission, just go after it, get it done. And I think this full moon is going to reflect the energy that you put into it. So like, if you're going into this full moon and you're like and really just this whole month, like if you manifest, if you put out fear, I feel like you're going to get it back, but a lot more. But the same thing the other way. I feel like if you're really going after things, being risky, getting excited, going after your passions and just saying, you know what, I'm just going to do it because it's fun for me, then I think it's also going to come back to you in a rewarding way, but almost even more. Whichever way you decide to go, it's this energy of like amplification, I think, if that makes sense. The hat reminds me of candy corn. That's exactly what it is. It's a candy corn witch outfit that I've thrown the outfit away because it does not fit me anymore, but I kept the hat. Thank you, Lucy. Yes, Snow White vibes. Yay, I made it! Welcome, everyone. Eclipses coming in the next couple of months. Ooh, I'll have to look out for that. Both your laptop chargers broke. Ugh. Oh, I'm like missing like half your guys' comments. I feel like we're gonna go with the dark orange tonight. I didn't check my mail, so I need to check. Yeah, let me know. I always get afraid that like it's gonna get delivered and then it's gonna get stolen in the time window that it's been delivered. Alrighty. Thank you guys. I wear this hat often to events, but I feel like it's kind of like focus. It's obviously like all crumpled and made out of like crap. So I actually bought an even fancier witch hat. I splurged this year and got myself something. I didn't really splurge; it was like $30, but I like to dress up at the events that I do. Not like a fortune teller, but I like to just dress up a little fun and exciting because I think people to some extent are paying for a little bit of the fun Halloween vibes. All right, you guys, let's jump into individual readings. Again, I've got my timer set. When this next one goes off, it's going to be our member free reading for the night. And then the one after that will be for the Atrodice. Alrighty. Make it fun. Yes, they absolutely do. Alrighty. So individual readings, if you want to send me a donation, you can get a reading that way. Otherwise, we do guessing games. But if you do send a donation, I will get to you guys first. Are we doing donations? So yes and no. So yes, if you want to send a donation, you'll get to the top of the list. You don't have to wait. And then if there's no donations like right now, we'll do a guessing game. So I need to think of something. I'm going to just use my cards. That's going to be too hard. I'm thinking of a Halloween symbol. Symbol of Halloween. If you can guess what I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. Halloween symbol. I hope that makes sense. Because it's Halloween for like 2 weeks. I've got 2 parties this week. 4 parties next week. Nobody's gotten it yet. In a cloud. I see this symbol often made into crystals. Skull! Cheyenne! You got it! Woohoo! Cheyenne, let me know what your question is. Oh, I'm so excited to use these cards tonight. Good guesses, everyone, though. I'm pretty sure like everything that you guys said is in this deck. Oh, this one's really cool. Lady de los Muertos. And these cards, they feel really nice. They're like really smooth. Woohoo, Cheyenne. And while the rest of you wait, let me know. We've got, I think it's a fight right now between cloudy dice and orange, kind of dark orange dice. We're going to give one away tonight, and I'll have you guys email me your address, and I'll get it sent off to you. And I made kind of like a fun little goodie bag. What should I focus on or need to know for the full moon? Thank you, Michelle. Give me 1 second. Let me read Cheyenne really quick, and then, Michelle, feel free to throw out your question. Dark orange. I have pulling them for my coworker this month. Yeah, I think, Lori, I think you were the first one to tell me about them, so thank you. They've been on my list forever. Dark orange. I think we're going to end up going with that. It is the Halloween Oracle deck. All right. I'm going to mostly be using it tonight because I just like, it's Halloween. Okay, Cheyenne, what should I focus on? I need to know for the full moon. Ooh. I feel like this is the card that I pulled most out of it. So the Skull of Darkness. Ooh. And I won't even read the booklet because I know what this one is about. So this is like about paying attention to the blind spots. It's about paying attention to the things that you don't know about, the things that you can't see, which is kind of difficult because you're like, okay, well, what is it? So I'm just going to pull one clarifier card of like what it could be. Ooh, around communication with others, especially with it being in a Gemini card. It's kind of about like the two sides of, you know, being very communicative, very not communicative, being around people, not around people. I don't know. I'll leave it at communication. Honestly, though, intuitively, Cheyenne, like I'm really getting like going out and like practicing your intuition. Like I feel like you would totally be into like something equivalent of like doing one of those like ghost hunting tours or EVP sessions and like meeting people. But that's kind of like a side thing that I'm picking up for you. The School of Darkness, though, is all about like paying attention to the things that you're ignoring. It's like, what are those things that we've been shoving under the rug for far too long that we probably need to start addressing? And really, it's not because you need to address it to go through pain or difficulty. It's really about like, let's get it off your plate so it's no longer this worry in the back of your mind. So that could be around like relationships and other people. I'm also hearing it could just be with like the relationship to yourself, maybe like self-care, just taking care of yourself. But it's interesting with the candle on the top of his like crown chakra. I'm just very much feeling like this is the month to connect to kind of that source. And there is a theory, and I did a video on it, I want to say last year, of like during October and the closer and closer you get to Halloween, the veil becomes thinner and thinner. And I actually feel like that's the case for you, Cheyenne. And if any of you guys want to check out that video, feel free to do so. I kind of talked about, does the veil really thin? Is that really a thing or not? I think I was wearing this exact same hat. And it was in that video. I was like, oh my gosh, I could have done like this whole Halloween themed month. I didn't have to just do one video. And so it was that video that actually gave me the idea to do what I'm doing this month. Alrighty. So that was Cheyenne. Okay. Michelle, thank you for the donation. Oh, and somebody else sent one as well. Thank you. I will get to both of your guys' readings. Scroll down. There's apparently also a Halloween tarot deck, which apparently is pretty accurate to the original tarot. Kind of been looking at that one as well. There's a witch deck too. Ooh. Any of them would be awesome. Do you have this one too, Mama Odie? Yeah, the artwork is so cool. Okay, so I didn't see... Michelle, did you throw up a question? Oh, yep, right at the bottom. Hi, I'm here. I just wanted some general messages from my daddy, Gary. Okay, and then I'll jump back up to Bo and Pretty Kitty. Thank you, guys. Give me a second. And I'm just going to use my... I'm going to keep... Oh! I'm already getting behind. Crystal! You're the closest one to comment to my... timer, and this timer is basically anyone who's a member. Every live night somebody randomly gets a free reading. So Crystal, you're at the bottom of the list, but let me know. She's like, yay. Let me know what your question is, and we still got the Atrodice timer coming up. Alrighty, so I apologize. Okay, Michelle, so I'm still gonna use these cards just because I want to get familiar with them. gosh, I'm just like getting the message for like a lot of you. If there is anyone that you want to connect with that's a loved one in spirit, like do it this month. You guys are all pretty intuitive. I mean, you probably wouldn't have found my channel if you weren't. And it's almost like the whole veil thinning thing is like on your side of being able to connect to them. Michelle, did he die somewhere around this time of the year? I feel like it doesn't really matter. I just feel like he's actually saying, like, on the anniversary of his death, like, maybe reach out to him and, like, see if you can't connect with him, specifically paying attention to your dreams. He's also saying, like, tonight we can pay attention to your dreams. Ooh, okay. So I pulled the Hearth card for you, Michelle, and I definitely feel like he's, like, saying he loves being around in your home. So this is all about happiness in our hearts and homes. And I think he loves seeing you happy, kind of in your home setting. When you're happy, he's happy. And so I think that was that kind of message of like getting people around the table, kind of in the group reading that I did earlier. Hang on. And then I just pulled Skull of Light, Illumination. Ooh, I just want to pull the card or pull the book for this. I know I'm all over the place. I'll collect my thoughts. Sorry. Ever since I went to that mansion yesterday, I've been a little bit like not grounded. There's a lot of energy in there, and I've been having a hard time shutting it off. What? Oh, it's because it's not called Illumination. It's called Skull of Light. There's a ton of skulls in this. So there's like the Skull of Blind Spots or whatever, or Skull of Darkness that I just pulled. Skull of Stars, so Skull of Light. Know that it's time to open yourself fully to the clarity of bright illumination. Allow yourself to be seen, to see, and to act upon what is shown to you. The time has passed for hiding, for pretending, and for swallowing our discomfort by accepting the status quo when it really doesn't suit us. So I think I know that you wanted messages from your dad, but I think that's just a general message that they're trying to squeeze in here and get to you of like, stop worrying about what other people think. Just do what you want to do. And going back to this Hearth card, I really feel like this is dad saying like, I connect to you best in your home. So if you're ever like wanting to connect with him more, sometimes just like being alone in the house, you know, being in a comfy, cozy state and reaching out to their energy, or maybe if, you know, your parents are still around on some level, your mother and, you know, she's living in another house, going to a place that he used to live or where his energy was a lot might be an easy way to connect with him. But I think the overall energy that I'm getting here is that he loves kind of being over your shoulder when you're happy and you're at home. Like, I feel like you have kids and he loves just kind of like gathering around and watching you all hang out. I know that's a brief for connecting with dad for a $5 donation, but anything else from dad? He's very specifically saying like dreams tonight, like pay attention to your dreams, like put a notebook by you if you can, Michelle. He didn't know, but the monthly anniversary just passed. Gotcha. I could have been wrong there. Alrighty. Well, thank you, Michelle. All right. I'm just going to jump back up to Bo. Any guidance on my romantic life? Ooh, yes. Let's do it. I'm also going to use these cards. We'll see how they work for romance. Now I'll pull a few more cards just because you donated more, so thank you, Bo. Bo, I'm immediately getting that you're sort of like overshadowed by the people around you. Like, I don't know if you like go out and try to like meet people out and about, but I feel like you just have a little bit quieter of an energy. And because of that, it's like everyone's drawn to the shiny objects, and I feel like you take it as, oh, there's something wrong with me, but there's really not. It's just like the people or the environments or the situations that you're in, it's like you kind of fall into the background a little bit energy wise. I do not know what these cards are. Hang on. This is a new deck to me. So I did pull the Witch. Ooh, I love this one. Oh my goodness, thank you guys for the donations. I'm so behind. Give me a bit. Okay. Holding the Witch card means that you can weave your own change throughout your life and that magic indeed is afoot. You must understand that you have power and it is real. It may also indicate that others may be threatened by your developing personal power and they may not appreciate or like the changes in you as you grow. Be prepared for this and do not be discouraged. New friends and better opportunities will be attracted instead. I don't necessarily feel like you're getting people like sabotaging you, but it's almost like that opposite of like, you know, you're trying to bring in relationships and it's almost like I feel like you just kind of fall into the background, and not in like a bad way. It's more just like if you can go out one-on-one and not be in a group, I think you would be able to speak your piece more. Or maybe it's even just that you're not being yourself because you're kind of like being influenced by that group energy. And that's where you're at now. But really the energy of what I was getting with this card was like, you can manifest whatever you want. You can make that magic. You can bring it in. You can attract it. And so to me, that says there's something in your mind of like, that's blocking you of, I can't have this. I can't have this relationship. I can't attract it. I think the stories that you're telling yourself of the past are influencing and kind of blocking that energy from coming through. So try to, as much as you can, focus on more of a positive talk around it of, I am going to manifest it. I am going to bring it in. Oh, cool. And then I basically did past, present, future, and then like another advice card. I skipped the past. I'll go back to it. But this is the future card. And this is using your intuition. And it says scrying. And basically scrying is a bunch of tools that you can use, which that was my question for the Atrodice. So that just gave it away. So I'm going to have to think of a different question. But scrying is basically using tools to look and like see things. So it's kind of like relying more on your clairvoyance. You don't actually have to like scry. But to me, this is really delving more into your intuition to figure out why you're blocking yourself, like why you're not manifesting it. And like, I'm actually like feeling the total magic energy of this card, Bo. Like, I don't know if you're into this stuff or you're just kind of interested, but it almost feels like creating an intention or a ritual. Like, same with those like spell candles that I was talking about. Like, if it makes you feel like you're going to attract it more, we really just need to get into the zone of belief that it's going to happen. Because I feel like that's just your biggest obstacle right now. And then I pulled this card of the past, and it's talking about ancestors, the love and legacy of our DNA. To me, immediately what I'm getting is like, it's going to happen. Like, this is planned out. You're going to carry on this family tree. Like, if that is all you need for assurance, like, it's there. The family tree is not going to be broken. You know, I don't think you have that concern, but it's almost like, to me, you know, it doesn't stop at you. This is very much like this is part of your destiny. This is part of what you're supposed to do. It's just not happening with the timing or the way that you thought. Oh my gosh. And the last card of advice, control. You're trying to control it too much. Hang on. And I just want to pull this card or look at the description of this one because I haven't pulled this one yet. So this is zombie. It's time to look at the concept of control. Do you want to control everything, leaving little to free expression? Do you choose partners who are not your equals so that they are more easily manipulated and changed to your liking? Or do you allow that to happen to you? If you are not living your most authentic life, it's time to look at why and how to change that. I think that's so perfect because it's also really saying, hey, like when you put out the most authentic version of yourself, and it's kind of that energy of what I was getting beforehand of like, I don't know if it's that you go out with a group of people or you're just not it's like you're not being the real you because of like the situations that you're in. Or maybe it's just the fact that you're just trying to control it too much. And what did it say that really like stuck out to me? I kind of feel like you're more the one that gets manipulated into, like, I feel like you get into a relationship and then it's like, this isn't what I wanted. I should have attracted something different. So being very conscious of what you do want, again, with kind of this witch energy of the intention of it is going to happen, and then using your intuition to sort of figure out how and like where do I need to start? Like, what is the biggest problem areas? I hope I'm sort of summing this up, but I would let go of the how and the when is kind of like where I would start, because I think that's has been what you've been focusing on too much, and you've been getting it all in your head of like all these negative like thoughts and inner talk about the whole situation. I think you just need to start from scratch. Know what's going to happen, release the time, release the how, but just get into this firm belief of it will happen, and then just use your intuition from there on, okay, what steps do I need to take? Awesome. I love that reading, and these cards are so cool, especially for a relationship. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Boo. All right. So I've got Pretty Kitty next. Then I said Crystal because Crystal got the member reading. And then it looks like PM and Virginia. Give me a second, guys, to catch up. Thanks, Bo. Seen a lot of new faces tonight. I don't know if you guys have been, I'm curious, how long have you guys been following me? I feel like I've been getting a lot of new followers lately. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just crazy. It's hard to tell if people have been around for a long time and they just never comment or like never show up to the lives, but I'm curious. Virginia, I want some Atrodice. All right, so let me hop back up to Pretty Kitty. Is there anything I need to know about my relationship? Oh, yes. I'm just really excited to use this deck. Ooh, okay. I pulled the Ghost card. Regret. And again, like the pictures for this, you would think, I don't know, you think like, oh, it's going to be about ghosts or something, but it's actually just like this beautiful, like poetic little thing about the idea of ghost. It's kind of like a symbol. Should the ghost come gliding into your life during divination, it may indicate that you have some regrets to let go of. Holding grudges or regrets is burdensome work, and it weighs us down eventually. By taking actions to free ourselves of these old burdens, we clear the way for more rightful and wise action for the future. We can begin to live again fully was and step into new possibilities. Oh, I love that. And I will say, normally I don't read the booklets, but I do like to when I'm trying to learn a new deck. It just helps me memorize. So, Pretty Kitty, I really feel like about your relationship, I'm definitely getting the energy of like, I feel like it's like there's things that you've done that you like want to apologize for, but it's like hard because you're stubborn and they're stubborn. So there's like a lot of regret that's building up. I'm also hearing like resentment, and tell me if I'm wrong too. I could be not connecting correctly, but it just feels like a lot has been swept up under the rug. Like I'm literally getting the visual of like someone sweeping a bunch under the rug, and it's like you have this rug in the middle of the room and you both are looking at it like, we need to deal with that. But I think the biggest message that's coming through, Kitty, is just like, it looks bigger than it is. And I feel like if you really come at it from being vulnerable and compassionate, I feel like this message is for me too. Like, don't come at it like fiery and angry because you're resentful, you're pissed off. Then I really actually think that it's going to be a lot easier than you realize. And it's almost like you're going to be like, why didn't we deal with that monster under the rug like way sooner? And the images they're giving me just to help me like memorize these cards, which is kind of cool, is like, oh, once you deal with that, then the ghost goes away. It's like helping the ghost pass on. It's kind of like helping it find its peace in a way, but also, you know, helping you find peace within your own relationship and getting those things dealt with so you can move on. And I also pulled that Barmbrek card, and it's like this loaf of bread that you make together, and it brings people together. It's all about sweetness and synergy. To me, I'm just taking this as confirmation that it's all going to be okay. Like you guys just need to like deal with it, whatever it is. Just talk about it and get it over with. Maybe wait till after the full moon, because I feel like the full moon is just going to make us a little bit fiery and crazy with this Aries energy. But just know overall the message here is like it's not as big of a problem as it feels like. It's just the time of it building up that's stressing you out, but it doesn't mean you can't work through it, and it doesn't mean you have to like leave each other. Like just start. I love ghost hunting. Yeah, and it's funny too because my production company, the guys that I work with, they've never been interested in my channel or offered to like help with any of my videos on this channel. But as soon as I told them I'm possibly doing a ghost hunt, I need a better word for it, at this mansion, all of them, oh my gosh, yeah, I'll help out. And I'm like, well, you guys are crawling out of the woodwork now? I think they all just want to be a part of like doing something spooky and fun. Let's see, typo, both work. Okay, so Crystal, I think, was next. She won our member reading for tonight. So let's look for Crystal's question, especially on a full moon. You've just started your tarot collection. Awesome. I don't have the Halloween tarot. Don't like the art so much. Interesting, because it's supposed to be really close to the Rider-Waite, so maybe that's why you don't like it very much. Just buy a new outfit that fits you now. I don't know, Virginia. They might not sell it that big. It was like the sexy like costumes that I would wear like in high school. They don't fit me now. Let's see. I want a pendulum. I am gonna have a pendulum video coming out real soon. All right, Crystal, are there any past loved ones who have a message for me? Oh, that one popped out. Expect powerful change again. I don't know if you were in that pile earlier, Crystal, but definitely that energy coming through. Tonight is different. And I keep asking like why, and I totally think it's this Halloween thing. I totally think it's like the veil thinning, even though in that video I was like questioning it. Ooh, Skull of Stars, infinite possibilities. So let's see, skull of, so there's like I said, there's a lot of skulls in this deck, but they all mean something different. This card indicates that you need to think bigger and more broadly about your future and what you would like to achieve. Perhaps, and I should say, I was getting kind of like an older woman. I feel like he was kind of short. Honestly, Crystal, it feels, and maybe I'm just like connecting wrong, but it feels like it's kind of sparse on the other side, like as far as family members go. And it doesn't mean you don't like have family members, but they could be off doing things that are more important. They could have decided to come back, maybe. I think they're off doing more important things, but Grandpa's like stopping by. I see him in a train station though. I wonder if there's any significance to that. That's interesting. I very much feel like he's like gathering, not him, but I feel like your family members are kind of moving on to something else. They're getting on this like train and moving forward, and he's kind of like the energy of like the last one sticking around to make sure that you're okay. Not saying that they're gone or you're going to be like alone or anything. Like they're always accessible, but it's almost like they're moving on to do something else with their lives. But the message, and this might be from him or just your guides, I'm just trying to go quickly on these so that I can catch up. But this card indicates that you need to think bigger and more broadly about your future and what you would like to achieve. Perhaps there are false beliefs, often old, that no longer serve you as you grow and change. Sometimes these beliefs may not even be yours. I actually feel like he's talking about like your family here. They may have been imparted to you by your parents or the wider community, yet feel rather incongruent to you. You need to endeavor, and that is my Atrodice timer. Hang on. You need to endeavor with all of your heart and soul to live the life you want and honor your own wishes and truth. Honestly, I feel like he's calling you to examine the family stuff. Like, honestly, and I'd be so interested if I'm wrong, but it feels very much like, I don't know, Crystal, but it almost feels like, you know how some people are really attached to their family in this life and, you know, really interested in learning about their family in the past. Like, I don't feel like that's necessarily you. And I feel like maybe it's because you don't connect super well with your physical family here. But you have like family and spirit, but they're all very much about like, I don't want to say leveling up, but like evolving, changing. And I think it's interesting because it might feel like a little lonely at times, but I think you were called into that circle for a reason. And so the skull of stars, infinite possibilities, I feel like they're really encouraging you to broaden your mind of like, your worldview isn't as small as your little family. Like, it could definitely get bigger. Like, besides that message just coming through, which I feel like is more day-to-day stuff that's going on, I feel like he's trying to broaden your mind about like where you came from and where you'll go next. Like, very much this like train energy. If you haven't done my psychic sanctuary meditation, maybe try visiting this train and see where it takes you. I'd be very interested. All right. Thank you, PM. Okay, so I know my Atrodice timer went off, so let me get a list in my head. So PM, Virginia, okay, so we're going to do PM, Virginia, and then we're going to do the Atrodice. Just because I always want to get to donations first. But that's the order. Hello? Is it Sina? Thank you guys for bearing with me. I'm in a really dark place, but I'm starting to feel the cloud lift at times, so it makes sense. I know how that feels. I hope it gets better. You were right about the fire scrying. I did that yesterday on a candle. So cool. Yeah, and that's what I thought the class was going to be about, but it totally wasn't. It was like about how to do spells. I was like, oh, it's not what I expected, but kind of cool. Let's see. You're welcome, Bo. I don't know if I said that already. I'm new and love your channel. Thank you, Carolyn. I've had a lot of people jumping on and just, I feel like 90% of my comments now are like, I'm new here. I'm so glad I found you. Okay, I'll catch up on you guys' questions, but let me start with PM. Okay, so PM, Virginia, Atrodice. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay, and I don't know. I'm pretty sure we're going to do the darker orange dice. Oh, geez. I'm just going to throw them everywhere. Okay, is there anything my guys want me to know about my family, relationship, and work? It's so funny that all of you guys are asking about relationships. Like, honestly, that doesn't surprise me, knowing that I feel like, am I crazy? We're in Libra season. And just also Mercury retrograde, I feel like it kind of has upended relationships recently. Actually, I'm going to do a different spread for you, PM. And I will say that, Mercury retrogrades really come in to help you understand like what needs reworking, what needs re-examining. And it seems like this last Mercury retrograde was very heavy on the relationships of like, what relationships don't have the best boundaries? Like, what do we need to fix here? And so if you feel like that's definitely been you, knowing that we're coming out of it a little bit might provide some relief that, it'll get a little bit better. Oh my goodness. I do feel like this is a little bit of a small deck. Because, like, in comparison to this deck, it's a little bit smaller. So I kind of do feel like I'm pulling the same cards every now and then. But that doesn't mean, they're not right. Okay. Is there anything like that? Why am I feeling weird about this? Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. So I got the Ancestors card for you in the past, PM, and then the Werewolf in the present, and Forgiveness in the future. And like, to me, kind of looking at this spread, how I'm seeing this is like, I don't know if you kind of like idealized the relationships in your life or even just the relationships in your family. I'm kind of like looking at these two together, and I'll do your work separately. But to me, this is just like, I feel like this is a little bit of a naivety of, oh my gosh, I'm looking back at my family or my relationships in the past, and I was very much like, oh, we're family, we're friends, like everything should be perfect. And I feel like this often like got you hurt a lot. Like maybe it got you into the wrong places because you were so trusting. And I feel like a lot of people broke your trust. Because I feel like the way you look at it is like, well, we're family, we're friends, we're DNA, we're supposed to always support each other. Like you have this very pure idea of like what these relationships are supposed to look like, but it's like not everyone around you is like that. And it's gotten you into some situations where either you trusted people too much or not enough. And kind of the forgiveness card is, I feel like, where this is leading up to, of like forgiving those past relationships, forgiving yourself kind of for not knowing how to necessarily handle them. But I'm really getting the message of like, you know what you're doing. Like, I feel like there's some doubt of like, what do I do? How do I navigate this? But I really feel like you see the red flags, you know what to look for, and you kind of know which people are worth keeping around or not. And I also feel like you have a really good sense of creating those relationships and creating those bonds, which like I feel like sucks for you sometimes because you're like, why do I always have to be the one doing this? Like, why can't anyone do this for me? Is kind of the energy that I get around you. And just know that that might be you in a lot of situations, and that's okay. And so forgive that side of yourself that's like wanting everyone else to kind of reciprocate, because that might not always happen. Then the Werewolf card is Exploring Wildness. And I kind of loved the description of this card because it was talking about how there's two sides of us, right? There's the human side and the werewolf side. And the human side is the boring, day-to-day, follows the rules kind of person. And then the werewolf is the one that just goes crazy, and they act on their primal instincts. They hunt, they go after things, they're wild, they just do whatever. And so think about those two energies in your life, and like, especially in relationships, it's like, where are you being authentic in you? Are you acting that way? Kind of the boring, not version of yourself. Or are you doing the things that you actually want to do and, feel authentic doing? Like, this card is actually encouraging you to embrace the more werewolf side of yourself through this deck. And so at the core, this is like basically stepping into your authenticity and saying, you know what, this is what I want to do. And I don't care what people think, because I'm going to come across all sorts of people. And I know I'm not here to please everyone. And I know I can handle it no matter what. And so I feel like they're just trying to give you like this confidence boost. forgive yourself and understand kind of the patterns of like what led you to this with other people. But it's more this like call of like step outside of it. Like really don't wait around on everyone else to be yourself. You know, start doing what you want to do and you'll attract the right people, or, you know, you won't, but you'll know how to handle it no matter what. So let me pull one more card for your work. I'll do 2 more since you donated a little bit more. I'll just go a little faster with these. Work, work, work. Ooh, okay. I'm definitely getting not like a good balance here. I pulled the Cauldron card in reverse, and this card is about synergy and healing. And so to me, the fact that it's reversed says there's a lot of things in your home life, because I pulled the Hearth card again, in your home life that are not being tended to. And because of that, you know, work might be taking more precedence, or maybe it's even that you just can't show up to work as well as you want to be because, you know, you're so stressed out about the stuff going on either side. But there's just definitely this non-synergy happening. I'm curious what the Cauldron card is actually about, because I assume it's about mixing things together in an equal way. So mixing home and work life. Yeah, combining a variety of techniques or elements to get the best result. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Resilience is being cultivated over time, and this means that you will be able to withstand any negative pressure much more healthily from the inside out. Kind of feel like that was those last cards. But I think, you know, even if you're starting like a new job, or if where you're at right now is not working, or maybe you just don't have work and you're trying to find something, start from a place of making sure that your home life and work life is more balanced. Giving equal times to both, connecting, you know, when it's the end of the workday, stop working, and vice versa. And when you can heal more of that stuff around it, when you can find more of that synergy, you know, you got a good mixture in your pot going, you're going to have a better home life. You're going to be more charged, more energized. And because of that, you're going to be able to show up to work with a clearer head. You're going to be able to make decisions better. You're going to be able to navigate all of these issues a lot better. Awesome. Thank you, PM. Virginia, I'm going to get to you next. Hey, everyone. I'm really behind. Oh, awesome. Lori, I will get to her after my Atrodice giveaway. So let me do Virginia really quick. What was Virginia's question? I just got an intuitive reading a few days ago, and it gave me a lot of clarity on a few things, so it was awesome. Nice. Oh, it was any guidance on my living situation. Ooh, okay. Paranormal investigation. That's another good word for it. I was kind of thinking like a mediumship tour, because I really wanted to highlight the historical aspect of this place. They don't want it to all be like, ooh, super scary. Like, they don't want that to be their main selling point, which I totally understand. They want other people to come there for other events, not just spooky things. Oh my gosh, I just keep pulling this card over and over again. I'm going to shuffle again. So, any guidance on my living situation? So they're telling me to pull the obstacles. Even though I reshuffled, I pulled out the same cards. Ooh. So I'm asking what obstacles are in your way with your living situation, because I actually feel like you've pretty well decided on like what you should do, and now it's just kind of like navigating how to handle it is what it feels like. Be bold and make the first move. I'm definitely getting energy of like, you know, don't necessarily sit around and just wait for things to happen. You know, if you are thinking of moving, or if you just need a change in pace, like just do something to shake it up. Um, Honestly, I feel really good about whatever you've already decided. I don't know. Let me know if you're like going between two different things, because I pulled the Hearth card again. But I mean, this card essentially is like you're home, you're happy. It's like the hygge vibes of, you know, being cozy around people. You've got warm lighting, you've got bread, you've got food, you have a roof over your head. Like, I feel very warm and inviting energy around this. Around whatever you, because I feel like you've already made a decision. Like, I just want to make sure I'm right about that. It is a new emoji. You guys got a cat ghost. Let's see. I don't see a comment, but I'll just keep going. Ooh, and you know, I pulled the forgiveness card again, but I'm really drawn to the bottom part, which says reducing burden. So if you are kind of like going between two things, like, you know, should I stay or should I go? This is like the core of it. Like, it, you know, come at a place of like what feels like home to me, what feels like truly in my heart of hearts, like where I'm supposed to be. And then do what you can to reduce all the burdens around it. So like if the money is an issue, like if there's a lot of repairs or something, you know, maybe not going with that option is the best. You want to try to simplify it and make it as easy as possible. And so I don't think this is so much about the forgiveness as much as the reducing the burden on yourself. And so even if you've made a decision and you're like, okay, I'm going to go with this card could also be like, hey, you're going to sorry. I just got like a spirit coming in straight in my face. Distraction. Okay. Reducing burden. What was I saying? Yeah, it's kind of just about making sure that there's not a lot of stresses around it, no matter what direction you're going in. Try to reduce the things that you need to do around it, and maybe that in itself might solve some of the problems that you're having. I just heard rental assistance. Maybe look into rental assistance. I don't know if that's like part of the problem, but and then the last card I pulled, midnight, the most magical hour of all. I haven't pulled this one yet, so I want to read the book. Also, because I'm going to be taking this to my events and I really want to get practice with them. Allow yourself to relax in the benevolent darkness of midnight. You may feel like this is your darkest hour, but know that the light will return again. Oh, so pretty. The dawn always follows the darkest night. Know, too, that it is important to recognize that we all have darkness within us just as we have light. And this isn't something to hide from. Ooh, I love that. So, like, that's what I mean. Like, it's more poetic than the cards look like. So I feel like probably the energy around this is like you feel pretty defeated. I feel like either you have a lot of issues or you're stuck financially, or maybe you have a lot of options. But if your core of it is, you know, I'm coming from a place of what feels the best to me, what does home feel like, and you're trying to reduce the amount of stress as much as possible, and you're being bold about it, being bold and making the first move, just, you know, making a decision and just going with it, because I feel like stagnating or just not making a decision will actually hurt. This is just reassurance that, like, it's rough right now, but it's going to get better. I almost feel like this is kind of like a rock bottom card. It's like, look, it's at the darkest hour, but it's only going to move up from here. I just want to pull, like, see if, I'll just pull one more card for Virginia. I don't know if she's with us, but niceies, you can always watch replay. Ooh, and I just got unexpected visitors. I feel like there's people coming in to help with this situation. wish I could have gotten your feedback just so I had more context of like if you're weighing two options, if you were looking to do something new, or if you're staying where you're at. I'm like going back and forth between I can't tell if you've already made the decision or you're still on the fence. So you're probably still on the fence. And I'm just hearing, I just asked anything else, and it's like, you're not going to make a wrong decision. And I think that's why they want you to just move quickly and just pick something so that you can start focusing on reducing that burden, whatever that is, if that's a financial burden, stress, whatever that might be. You're not going to make the wrong decision. It's all going to work out, I think. All right. Have you ever let a spirit co-pilot / possess you? Devin, you should watch my last week's video. I talked about possession a little bit. I don't necessarily believe possession is real. I think it's just channeling. And I haven't learned channeling. I want to. And it's so funny because I met up with somebody over the weekend that used to go to the Aspen program with me. She lives all the way in Germany, but she just happened to be back in the States, and I got to go get lunch with her, and it was so wonderful talking to her, and we talked about channeling, and she was like, you should learn how to do it. You should learn how to do it. And now I'm all interested in it again. But longer answer in that video, Devin. All right, I think we are doing the Atrodice now. Mama Odie, you have 50 plus decks. That is awesome. I'm not that at all. I don't have a strong family relationship. And I think that's purposeful, Crystal. But I feel like there's a bigger purpose there. And so it was like a message of like, don't feel like you did anything wrong or you're not connected. Okay. I have crates full of them just as collectibles. Yeah, I do know a lot of people just collect them. All right. So Lori Venmo'd me. Before we get to Lori, I am going to give away these Atrodice. How late am I to the party? Not too late. Just in time for the Atrodice. All right, I think I'm sort of caught up. Okay, so I'll have Lori and then Simi. I'll get to you, but really quick, we're doing this Atrodice giveaway. And let's do that now. Yes, so we are doing trivia, and then they are for sale as well already. And I know I already ran the price by you guys, and I dropped it down quite a bit, and you guys are probably still going to be like, that's a lot, but kind of like, it has to be worth my time. So I apologize if it's expensive, but basically totaled it all up. It's like $5 to ship them, $5 for materials, and then it takes me about 2 hours. So anyway, okay. Hello, Joseph. I've seen your channel. Good to see you. I'm sorry I don't speak Filipino, but I wish I could understand your channel and your videos. Alrighty, guys. Okay, Atrodice. So whoever wins these Atrodice, I'm going to have you basically email me your address, email me your username so I can double check that it was correct, and you're going to win these kind of orange and black Atrodice. You will also get the instructions on how to use them. Again, these are not perfect, so don't leave me a bad review. These are kind of like the not perfect ones that I didn't want to throw away because they're not awful. But they are handmade, and because of that, there's tiny bubbles in them, and they're just not the absolute best. But I just want to like give out that disclaimer because I feel like somebody might just like send them back and be like, I want a refund. People do that when they get things for free. And I'm just like, what? It's funny how everyone is like dropping off. We had like 17 people in here. So more chance for you guys to win. Although the question that I was going to ask basically was, I described it because we pulled a card, which was like the scrying thing. So now I can't do that one. Okay. Thankfully, I had some other backups. Okay. So if you can guess this trivia question correctly, you'll win. It's a little bit harder. It's not like my guessing games. And I should have prepped more, but I feel like this is like Jeopardy. Okay, who is this person? So this person is a very famous older psychic. It's a man. He has done, I didn't fact check myself before this, but just so you know, hopefully you'll be able to still connect. If you can guess his name, then you'll get this Atrodice. So he basically went into trances. People came into his office. He almost like a psychologist, and he went into a trance, and he had somebody next to him who basically wrote down everything that he said while he was in this trance. He channeled, and he often gave prescriptions, like very detailed medical prescriptions of how this person needs to deal with something. Even if it was a physical ailment or a mental ailment, whatever it might have been. Nobody's gotten it yet. He's kind of older. I want to say the 40s. I don't know about that. I didn't Google him. I don't know. It's like early 1900s. Mama Odie got it already, though. It was Edgar Casey. Mama Odie, you got it. I'll finish describing him, though. He basically, had these really complicated, like, hour-long sessions. I want to say he didn't charge very much for them at all, but because they were all written down, they basically had years and years of proof that this guy not only channeled, but gave these people these ridiculously detailed prescriptive, like, readings, and they would go and they would try out these things. Like, he would say, go buy this herb, rub it on your foot, and you're going to get better. And so many people had so many success stories. I can't remember them off the top of my head, but they were incredible. I remember when I was learning about them. And now I want to say there's a book out there somewhere where you can just go through like all of them. I don't know if it's all of them, but actually, I do know that they have the Edgar Casey Institute. So if you're interested in learning more about him, head over there. They share a lot of his old stuff. But he is one of those that was a little bit more accepted by mainstream people because of what he did. And I think it's because he had so much proof. And I think he claimed that his source was maybe God, but I'm not sure 100%. Definitely a hard question. Yeah, I'm trying to be a little bit more challenging. I will say, though, that if you are in the member only live next week, you will still have a chance to win both the cloudy pumpkin dice. We have both pumpkin dice still, and the clear pumpkin dice. So both of these are still available. So you can still win them next week in the member only live. So Mama Odie, you've already got my email. Send me your address, and I will get these in the mail to you. And you can add it to your huge tarot collection. So I'm going to set these off to the side, and I will remember that it's Mama Odie. I like how you guys guessed the coffee guy, though. Totally misspelled his name. You got it close. It's like Kayce. Few books of his sessions. Yeah. He's a pretty cool dude, and I eventually want to do a video on like really old psychics you should know about, and I'm probably going to put Edgar Casey in there, and then the Fox sisters, which I talked about last week. So members, get ready for next week's question. We have one more chance to win the free ones. You're welcome, Mama Odie. Alrighty, you guys. Okay, so I think I need to jump back up to Lori and then Simi. So Lori, let me know what your daughter's question is. Venmo you, my daughter would like a reading. I just saw your comment. My current level of hermit is I like people the way I like my tea, in a bag and underwater. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna have to start using that. Okay, so Simi, hang on one second. I'm just gonna get to Lori's reading, and then I'll jump back up to you. So yeah, even if you missed out, I do have them for sale on my website, and I have all the Halloweens up as like pictures, but I also have like a create your own. So I have all the colors listed out. So I might not actually have a picture of it, but that doesn't mean I can't like make something. So if you don't want to wait around for me to like make an example, then you can just kind of jump in on that. I will start making more after Halloween, and I'm probably going to make one of each color, like red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and do some other cool ones in the future, and those will probably be ready to ship right away. But yeah, and again, I will put up the Atrodice instructions that I made on my blog. That'll just be free for everybody. Alrighty, so I'm looking for Lori's question. Yes, I know we said 10, but I just I feel so guilty increasing it, so I put 5 to 10 in the hopes that people would maybe lean more towards 10, but no obligation. I didn't want it to feel like exclusive. So yeah, $5, fine. Just what you see coming for your daughter. Okay, hang on, I need a drink. All right, Lori's daughter. I think it's so cool that you guys both sit and watch me. That's so sweet. I'm sure you don't do that all the time, but ooh, okay. Oh, finally pulling some different cards. Ooh, so pretty. Skull of Flowers, Skeleton, and Lady de los Muertos. And I'll pull some more since you donated 10. So I'll start with these. Okay. This feels very much centered around like how you see yourself. I don't know her name. Her name is perfect. Bridget. Oh, I love that name. So Bridget, this is like the Skull of Flowers creating through the ashes. To me, this is like saying that you're really coming into a new version of yourself. Like, I don't know. I'm sure you just have been going to school for a while, but it almost feels like maybe you have some new friends. Honestly, like it feels like a new version of yourself. I don't know what you've been doing, but it feels like you're stepping more into your authenticity. I will say I was seeing pink all around you before I even pulled this card. Like I'm getting very just like pink auras around you. And I don't necessarily get auras right away, which is really interesting to me. But creating through the ashes, I feel like Bridget has maybe had a rough time recently, or maybe it was a while ago. But it's like the flowers on the skull, it's like you're blooming into a new version of yourself. And it's really about not worrying about what other people think. Because you also got this beautiful Lady de los Muertos. A lot of this is surrounded just like lots of beauty cards. And I feel like this is that inward beauty. And I feel like, you know, people around you might give you the impression that you're not outwardly. But it doesn't matter, you know, outwardly what we look like. I feel like this message is very much like you have the inner confidence, and that is so much more valuable than, you know, the outward stuff that everyone focuses on, you know, their hair, what they're wearing. And I feel like because you're so much a true version of your, because of where you've been, you know, you've risen from the ashes in a way of, I just remembered I had a question for you guys. You've risen through the ashes. You know, maybe you've been through some hard stuff, maybe even possibly bullying in the past. But this is you, and this is you being your own kind of beautiful, is what it feels like. And I love the Lady de los Muertos because it says in really tiny print down here, acceptance and equality. And to me, this is understanding that not everyone is going to give that to you, but you have to give it to yourself. I just want to pull the card on her in case I'm missing something else. Like, I feel like your spiritual team, Bridget, is basically saying, like, keep going. You know, just because the people around you don't always see that inner beauty and inner confidence doesn't mean it's wrong or that you need to stop. Because you're so strong. I haven't shown you this card yet, but this is just the skeleton card, which I don't know why it needs the skeleton and then a skull, but just to reiterate that it's a skeleton. But this is strength, and you have so much of that inner strength. And like, I don't want to say this as like, you know, you're better than the other people that are around you, but it almost feels like the other people around you, I'm just specifically like getting a lot of school stuff. And I feel like they don't have that inner strength or that confidence or knowing themselves or the ability to be themselves because they're so concerned about what everyone else thinks. Okay, yeah. I just wanted to see if there was anything else with Lady de los Muertos, and it's also about like simplifying and letting go of things. And so maybe that's energetically like, you know, letting go of the people that don't fit this new version of yourself, that aren't strong, that aren't beautiful inside, not just outside. And I kind of feel like the advice that's coming through is like, well, yeah, duh, but I feel like you're going to get a lot of temptations to kind of go back into this old, you know, to go back into this past of where you were and maybe the types of people that you hung out with, but I feel like the more you step into your own inner beauty and inner power and strength, I actually feel like it's going to help you decide kind of where you want to go next steps in life. I feel like that's going to be like a long ways down the line, but I feel like when you stop caring about what other people think, and I feel like you do that really well already, it's almost like you're able to be like, all right, what do I want to do? And then you start getting into all these interests and, you know, maybe you have them already, but then I feel like it'll really open up a dedication to some sort of craft. And I think that'll influence like where you decide to go after school, like maybe even where you go to college, or, you know, even if you don't go to college, like where you start to work. And I know that might seem big and scary and far off, but I actually think that the quicker you can step into this power and all the things that we've talked about, again, I feel like you're already doing it. I just feel like you're going to know what you want to do with life a lot better than most people your age. Oh, that makes so much sense. So I also pulled the energy is gaining momentum. Ooh, and bring love into this situation. And I think that's probably a good card to end with, because I think your guys don't want you to get big-headed about this of like, oh, I'm better than other people, I'm more advanced. I think you are, especially like with your emotional intelligence. Oh, that's interesting. I asked how you should kind of like treat the people that are around you. You might influence them to change. This is the Mummy. You might influence them to do better. And I'm kind of actually getting to be a little bit open with that, because they might actually come around and start matching your energy, and being the own best version of themselves. I feel like you might actually have an ability to influence people to do that. Are the Hawks going to suck this season? You shocked her by pronouncing your name right. Not quite yet, Jordan. I still have Simi after this. She says her guys are so sassy. I love the cards though. Like, I love just the energy that you have. It's almost, it's kind of interesting reading someone who's so much younger, because it's like so much pure energy and not weighted down by everything. And I actually have a question for you all. So, I know I'm kind of getting on a side tangent here, but 2 of the events that I am doing, and I know some of you guys are readers, 2 of the events that I'm doing over this October Halloween season, there's going to be a lot of kids at, And I struggle with reading kids. And I want to know what you guys do in those situations because I was never taught this in the Aspen program. Like, I was only ever taught to deal with adults and adult problems. And I'm like sitting down with kids, and it's like they want a tarot reading from me. Often they don't know what to ask, so I ask a question and pull cards for them. But I think it was 2 years ago, because it wasn't 2020, it was 2019. I did this big kids fair, and I was asking the same questions that I would ask for like adults of like, what's stressing you out with work? What's stressing you out with school? But I felt like I was imposing things that weren't actually like bothering them. I hope this makes sense. But like, what questions do you ask for kids? Do you just pull a card and just say, oh, hey, you got a skeleton, yay? Like, I remember that night I tried both. Like, I tried to get more complicated, but I could see their eyes glaze over, and it was just like, what is she talking about? And I didn't want, with their age as well, it's like, I don't want them to like think that this is a self-fulfilling prophecy or that they have to do this. Like, trying to explain these concepts to them in a 5-minute window is just too much. Like, I can't say like the future can change, blah, blah, blah. Like, it goes over their head. And I'm like, how do I read kids? Somebody help me. And I'm sure I could do a tarot reading on it. But if anyone has any advice, let me know. Because those younger kids, it's like, what am I supposed to do? We can't talk about school. And I guess we can talk about school and their friends, but I don't want to cause like stress where there's none, if that makes sense. Like, oh, watch out for this chick, she's mean or something. And then they go to school and they're like terrified. I don't know. Personal problem. I really would like to figure it out this year ahead of time so that I have a game plan, because my very first one is going to be a bunch of kids at like a school. And I'm like, how do I do this? All right. Sorry, Simi. Thank you for being so patient. Let me jump up to Simi. Okay. Hi there. My question was, what does the universe / my guides have to tell me about the direction of my love life? Lots of love life questions for tonight. All right. I think we'll be maybe all caught up after Simi. Oh, geez. And I'm probably going to wrap up here pretty darn soon. So I might cut it off to donation only. Okay. So Simi, I got change and I got Skull of Stars reversed. So to me, the energy for your relationships just kind of needs to get mixed up. Like, there's something that obviously needs to change. I'll pull another card on it. But I feel like how you look at your relationships right now is that there's not very many possibilities. This card says infinite possibilities at the bottom. And I feel like this is kind of like your overall outlook to it. It's like you're doing the same things over and over again. And in your mind, nothing is going to change. And I think because of that, you just keep attracting like the same situations over and over. And so I asked, okay, what needs to change? And I pulled hold your vision in reverse. So to me, that is kind of saying like your intention. Maybe your intention of, there's not very many possibilities out there for me. Like, I'm not going to have a chance. There's nobody out there. Too hard. Like, I feel like there's a laundry list in your head of like why it won't work. I feel like you've like, it's almost like you've lowered the standards so much on yourself. Like, you're beating yourself up so much of like, well, I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this, so I'm not going to attract a relationship. And I think because of that, that's your intention. That's the vision that you're putting out. And even the fact that this moon is like kind of like half concealed, I feel like it's like you want it, but you're also saying, no, I don't deserve it. And so what needs to change is definitely like your inner talk around it. And then this is a new start is coming. And so to me, this says you can start over at any time. You can start telling yourself a new story at any time. There's nothing that needs to happen. There's no relationship that needs to, happen. There's nothing that needs to even be let go of. Things can change as soon as that, or as quickly as that. I just want to pull one more. Forgiveness. I think you need to forgive yourself a lot around past relationships. Like, the biggest things to me that is just blaring through to me is that you're saying, like, these are all the reasons why I can't have this, but I'm like very visibly seeing a person for you. You know, I don't know if they're the person or just one of many, but it's almost like this person fits you perfectly. Like, they're totally accepting of how you look, your quirks, your interests. I feel like they're a little bit quieter, maybe a little bit heavier set, but I feel like this person accepts you as is. There's nothing that you need to change, besides your intention that you can't have it. Forgive yourself, really start opening up to, there's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of people out there for me. Like, I really, truly feel that. Like, I feel like you've reduced your vision into, I'm so specific that there's, you know, if there's anyone out there for me, it's only one person, and they're probably halfway across the world. Like, I feel like that's your vision of it. And it's like, no, there's so many people who would love to be with you. Like, that's what your guides are like screaming. They're like, there's so many people here. You're just like not allowing them in because you're so judgmental of yourself. So just know, Simi, you can start over at any time. You can start this new. You don't have to release anything. Like, yes, focus on forgiving yourself, but there's nothing, you don't have to get skinnier. You don't have to like learn to be a super eloquent speaker. Like, just get rid of all that and just start trusting in the process and yourself, which I also feel like is so vague sometimes, but they're like trying to inject you with some hope and some confidence. And like, they just want you to get out of your head. Alrighty. Thank you, Simi. Right. Are we all caught up? Oh, wait, no, somebody else donated. Oh, okay. My squeaky mouse wheel. Can you repeat the welcoming love part, please? I think you're reading for her spot on. Welcoming love part. Wow, what did I say? Welcoming love. Like, wait, in regards to other people? Lori? Hey, Michael. I'm not a reader yet. I mean, I definitely love any opinion, especially yours as a therapist, Silly Rabbit. Totally. Thank you, Joseph. Thank you for sharing. Ooh, yeah, Michael. That's interesting. I remember that reading because you were like, what? I don't read for under 16 to 18 unless I know them. Ooh, maybe I need to have that rule. The thing is like, I was never, like, we never talked about it, and I wish I would have asked. And so that's why Mama Odie, I'm like, do I keep it more surface level? Do I just make it more of a fun thing? Like, I'm not actually getting any sort of deep because of their, like, emotional age. What am I trying to say? Like, I don't want to affect them in a way if they don't even understand what I do. So, like, do I make it more fun? And I do have this little kid deck called Spirit Animal Tarot cards. And it just has an animal on it. And it has, like, a simple phrase like, you got this, or something like that. And so I think I tried that one time, and I was like, hey, do you want to know what your spirit animal is? And then I just kind of, like, pulled a card, and then I was like, oh, your spirit animal's a unicorn. Yay. And a lot of the younger ones love that, but even then they were like, I don't know. Anyway, so maybe with kids, just keep the messages age appropriate but empowering. Yeah, and that's the thing, is I would never tell them anything negative, even if I was getting it. Like, even if I was getting something like, oh, mom and dad are fighting. I would never say that to them because I know, like, I don't want mom and dad to also come back and be like, what the hell did you say to my kid? Um, but there are some of them did surprise me because they'd be like 10 or 11 and they'd be like totally adept in talking about a lot of these subjects, which is kind of interesting. Things like talents, grandparents watching over them, or magical things. Ooh, talents is a great one. And so that's the thing is I now know to not expect them to have questions. So asking for their talents, asking for their spirit animal, grandparents watching over them. That's a good idea. Thank you, Silly Rabbit. I appreciate that. Ooh, all right, Jordan. Thank you for the donation, Jordan. It's funny, too, because at the top of this stream, I'm literally going to my old shamanic teacher right now. So I took her candle magic course last Tuesday. I don't think she does online courses. Otherwise, I'd recommend her. But she does have books. And I'm actually taking a 5-week tarot course with her. I'm so excited. So I did week 1 last week. And I'll probably talk about that more in future streams. But man, the amount of complexities there are to tarot that I just knew that I didn't know, it's so great to learn from somebody. So Jordan, intuitively what I'm getting, just like the serendipity of me, like just happening to go back to my shamanic course and like literally bringing this lady's book, I'm actually feeling to maybe just try to get that book that I always recommend. I think it's Shamanic, An Introduction to Shamanic Journeying. It's by Sandra Ingerman. Maybe just start there because it's a really cheap book. I'm sure you can rent it from the library or get it on audiobook and just see if you're interested in it. Because I feel like your guides are saying, like, give it 5 minutes and you'll know. Like, you'll know if you're interested. But Jordan, knowing you and your energy, I actually feel like what your guides are saying is it'll ground you a little bit more. It'll introduce you to a very different like perspective from what you've already been dabbling in. So I feel like, Jordan, you take like a little bit of everything and you kind of pull it in your arsenal, and it just makes you a much better intuitive person because of that. So like there's no harm in it. Like, to me, the only obstacle is like money. Like, if you don't have money, don't necessarily put yourself out just to do it. Ooh. I haven't pulled these cards out all tonight. So I'm using a new Oracle deck, the Halloween Oracle, and I pulled the Death card. Immediately I'm getting that it might give you a new understanding of death, and they do have a very interesting perspective on that. So maybe if you're with it kind of diving more into shamanic stuff, or there's obviously shamanic stuff. I meant mediumship stuff, like dealing with spirits and death and dying. Like, literally one of the workshops that I took was a whole weekend workshop with Rena on death and dying. Whole weekend, we just talked about death and dying. It kind of sounded morbid, but it was so much fun. I loved it. So I think it'll actually teach you a lot about that. Oh, and it's so interesting because I also pulled Dawn, the light after the darkness. I honestly feel like it might give you some hope. So some hope even in your own passing, coming to terms with one day, you'll have to face this. And maybe you could provide that hope for other people as well. I definitely feel like it's just going to give you a different perspective. I don't think it would hurt at all. It just seems like a money issue to me, really, is all that it is. You have to let me know if you do it. Let me see. I'll just pull one more card from my Moonology deck. Ooh, a new romantic cycle begins. Honestly, Jordan, I feel like this will ground you in a way that'll just kind of bring you back to reality a little bit and make you appreciate life a little bit more in a way. Not saying that like you don't, but just like in a different way. Or maybe the child is sad or scared of something. Maybe the message is, hey, when you turn on your light at night, think of fairy. So maybe I could start by just sensing, is there anything wrong and how could I provide hope? I mean, it's hard because not only do I have to ask the question for them, but I have to make sure that the answer is something that they're okay to hear. You know what I mean? Thank you, Silly Rabbit. I appreciate it. I meant to like throw this up in the Facebook group as well. Maybe I'll do that. You're welcome, Simi. Thank you. Thanks for sticking around and being so patient. Maybe have, and I tried that too. I remember I was like literally trying everything. I was like, maybe I'll dumb it down a lot. Maybe I'll do it really complex. Maybe I'll just have them pull a card. And having them pull the cards, it was more just like fun. And then I just had to do less. But then there was like one group of kids that just constantly came back, give me your cards. I was like, okay. That's a great point. I totally forgot that I already did that. And ask them what they see or feel about the images. Ooh, maybe I could just treat it like a coaching session. Maybe. The issue is like, it's bonkers to me because parents will allow their kid to sit down and get a reading from me, even though they're standing there with their arms crossed. Like, events are weird. Eventually, I would like to not do them because you cannot control everyone at a party. Like, obviously the people that you hire or that hired me are very into it, but that doesn't mean that all the guests are. And so I have had some guests that walk up to me and be like, I'm super skeptical, prove me wrong. And you have to know how to handle that and deal with that. And, but then there's parents who will be like, yeah, you can go get a reading. But then they're like judging me, like their energy is like judging me, and like, I don't know, it's weird dynamics. The squeaky mouse actually sounds like a mouse. Hello, Emma. I told her she could rewatch it after. Yeah, let me know if I missed. I don't. Did I miss a comment, Lori? I don't know what you were talking about, the welcoming love part. I want to make sure I answer that. Anyway. Heck yes. Thank you, Mama Odie. Send me that photo. You're about to give an early birthday present to yourself. What is it? I won't read for kids. Ethically, I don't believe they can give consent. I totally agree, Michelle. And that's like the conundrum that I'm in. And a person never really knows how they may perceive it, and I wouldn't want to harm them directly or indirectly. 100%. Now I'm just more worried. Well, maybe what I'll do, heck, I could turn this into a video. Maybe I'll vlog my experience and kind of like come to that decision, because again, I'm such a huge person on ethics. I'm kind of having this issue already, but I didn't ever get guidance on it. But I appreciate your guys' opinions. Maybe I'll try it this year. I can't like cancel these events. I've already taken their money, but I'll be very careful. Obviously, I always am. But maybe I'll have to do that in the future and just say no. All right. Hey guys, if you're new here and just joining us, you can send a donation for a reading. Otherwise, you can wait to do a guessing game. Honestly, though, I've already been on here for 2 hours, so I think I might just do one more free reading and then do donation only. And then I think we'll go from there. So PM was next as far as donations. Ooh, I woke up from a dream wanting to call my daughter to see if she was okay. She's on a mini vacation. I remember, was it 2 weeks ago? Let me see. Like immediately PM, it feels like just mom worries, but let me see. I actually feel like, okay. Because I remember the reading that I gave you, and it was like maybe there's going to be like one person that's like sketchy there. but she's going to know to kind of like put a stop to it. Because we talked about she's probably going to drink and stuff. I actually feel like that was that same night, but I think she's okay and she put a stop to it. But I'm very loudly hearing like the worst of it is over. I think you're just very empathic to her. I think you can totally like text her. Like there's nothing wrong with texting her and just saying like, hey, how you doing? Are you having fun? You know? It's so interesting to me, PM, that I pulled the ancestors card, the love and legacy of our DNA. This to me just says you guys are so connected, and that's probably why you're so like worried about her. I feel like energetically you probably just get a lot of times you understand like what's going on or that she might be stressed out. And my guides are sort of saying like, you know, don't scold you for that. Like there's a balance of like forgiving yourself a little bit of understanding, oh, I'm just connected with her empathically. That's all there is. But also like knowing when to be choosy about letting it go, if that makes sense. So it's kind of like forgiving her and forgiving yourself at the same time. But it's like, I'm still getting the message like it's okay to reach out every now and then, just like have the discretion of like, okay, is this me over worrying or is there something else here? But I do get that was like the worst of it. And maybe you just happened to pick up on it. But also like, I feel like whatever happened in your dream was way worse than even what happened. Like your imagination is blowing it up a little bit. And I pulled the balancing it a little bit better. And this is actually a full moon in Pisces. So to me, Pisces energy is very intuitive. So I would say, you know, maybe start practicing some boundaries around being so empathic to her. You know, try to shut it down a little bit and say, you know, no, I'm not going to be in her energy so much that it starts to make me worried and I'm picking up like false hits on it. Which I don't think that it was a false hit. I think you were sensing it, but then it was like your imagination amplified it. It's kind of like the energy that I'm getting. Yeah, I think she's totally fine though. But again, like I think a text every now and then is not the worst thing in the world. I think it shouldn't be like, are you dead? It should be more like, hey, are you having fun? Can't wait to see you when you get home. Fairy dust inspiration cards. Ooh. I'm going to write it down. And I actually think that I meant to go out and get another kids deck. And I'm just now remembering that I need to do that somehow before Saturday. Because yeah, I literally only have that spirit animal tarot. And these ones are way too creepy for little kids. So I will definitely check that out. Thank you, Mama Odie. Okay. All right. Amanda, I have a $5 minimum. So I could do like a yes or no question. Or if you want to donate the rest, I can do kind of like the 2 card readings that I've been doing for everybody else. So let me know. Otherwise, I can just kind of very quickly go into it. Hello, Terralyn. Erica. Alrighty. Thank you guys so much for the donation. I think it was a clarifying card. Yeah, I think Lori, the message that I was getting was just that her stepping into her own confidence is going to lead other people to do the same. And so to not just like judge people and like put herself above other people, like she's better than them, to really come at it from like educating them on how to be more emotionally mature or confident in themselves. The main message was like, don't push the people away because of it. Still embrace them and understand that they're going through their own different life paths, and maybe there's something that she could do that's of help to them. All right. Erica, hi, Lauryn. What psychic/spiritual skills I should start working on? I've tried my hand at various things, but nothing stuck strongly yet. Thank you. I'm immediately being called to focus on your blocks. I don't think it's the like exercises that you're doing. I think it's your ability to pick up psychic information. I feel like it's being blocked a little bit, and so that's probably why none of it has stuck as strongly as you wanted it to. So I'll just do really quick. I feel like I'm pulling this for everyone. So I pulled forgiveness again, and then ghost, regret. So these two are very similar energies. And what was I saying about the ghost card earlier? It's kind of about it was the image that they were giving me to associate with this card so I could help remember it is like letting the ghosts say their piece so that they could feel more at peace and then move on and let go of those regrets. Okay, I think I'm getting like 3 different things for you, Erica. So I don't necessarily think the word regret is correct, but I think one of your blocks is definitely that you're just letting old stuff influence you. And so maybe that's something that you are saying to yourself. Maybe that's something that other people are saying to you. You know, maybe somebody told you that you couldn't be psychic or that this stuff is silly, or maybe you have like a religious background and it's not accepted. But there's something that kind of like an old version of yourself that's saying, I am not psychic in some way, or I'm not going to allow this to happen. And if you can examine that and, you know, I'm like thinking to myself, like, wouldn't it be great if I had like a questionnaire that you could go through that kind of forced you to think about these things, so that you could be like, where am I sort of suppressing my psychic abilities and where am I blocked? And so there's a part of you that is not trusting or letting you fully embrace it. And so that it's almost like I'm seeing you talk to that old version of yourself and say, your opinion is valid, but it's not anymore. You know, I'm going to let this go. This is no longer going to affect me. You can take a back seat in my mind. I'm going to release you, kind of like you would release a spirit. And so I think that's kind of this energy of this ghost card. And then the forgiveness card, I feel like there's 2 things going on here. One of them is forgiving yourself when you're not getting as much information. Because I feel like I don't want to say you're super fresh to starting, but it sort of feels like that. And it's like, it's going to take time. And so it's forgiving yourself when you get things wrong. Because when you focus more on the thing that you're not getting right, you tend to, I don't know, it's almost like the more you focus on the things you're doing wrong, the less you can see what you're doing right with your psychic ability. And the quicker you can go into celebrating the little successes that you have, the easier it is to, you know, let go of but I didn't get it right this one time. Let's see. And then the second part of this reducing burden, I actually feel like there's something going on. I don't know if it's monkey mind or just like stress of life, but there, you know, that kind of stuff can get in your way of reading. If you have a lot of burdens in life, you know, maybe you're not getting enough sleep, maybe you're having a fight with a significant other, you know, all of these things can kind of like get in your way of fully like connecting. So I know that was like a roundabout way to answer your question, but I would definitely start with like block removal techniques. And then I think you might see it open up a little bit more. But I know your question is more like exercises. I immediately saw psychometry, Erica, so maybe start there. Maybe physically touching things might actually help you. But I think focusing on those blocks first are going to be the most helpful. All right. Oh my gosh, there's so many donations. Okay, I just need to cut it off. So after PM at $4.99, no more donations. No more donations. Or else I'm going to wear myself out. But thank you. I super appreciate them. Not like hating on them at all. I just want to make sure I stop myself before I get too tired. Also because I got like no sleep last night because we had this whole water issue. My stupid shower is leaking. all over in our bathroom, downstairs into my son's bedroom. Oh, I feel so awful. And so we basically have all this water damage now that we have to deal with. And so he's no longer in his bedroom. He's sleeping with us. And that was a rough night because he's like, where am I? This isn't my normal bed. He has to sleep in his little pack and play while we fix it. And it's very uncomfortable. Anyway, point is, haven't gotten enough sleep. Need to make sure I get sleep tonight. All right. Thank you, Silly Rabbit. Any messages for my family members, pets, and guides about my upcoming birthday? Also, what's coming up for me by the end of the year? Okay, I'll just kind of do one card each and then maybe a third overarching card. Ooh. So for your birthday, I pulled the illumination card. It's Skull of Light. And immediately what I got is like, things are going to be revealed to you. I just keep your boundaries up for your birthday. Like, I feel like if you're inviting people over, it's almost like the energy is like they leave and you're like, wow, okay, that was not what I wanted. Like, that's the energy that I'm getting from your birthday. So maybe there's a way you can kind of like avoid that going into it. I would be very careful about the people you invite. Because you can definitely change this. I'm reading the future, but, you can change the future based on this information. I feel like right now your birthday is very much like you're going to regret some of the people that you spent time with, or maybe not spent time with. Like, I feel like there's just a pretty big disappointment on the other end of it of like, why didn't I just do what I wanted? Or why did I invite that person? So maybe really like sit down and think about what you want. And don't worry about anyone else. Like, what's the ideal birthday look like to you? And that could be with other people or without. I go through moments where, like, some years I'm like, I want to party with all my family and friends. And then some years I'm like, leave me alone. I'm going to just have a bottle of wine to myself today. Just kidding. That would be a lot of wine. But, and then I pulled that cauldron card in reverse for the second part of your question. What's coming up for me by the end of the year? Synergy and healing. Let me just double check cauldron. A typical depiction of a witch sees her standing over a boiling cauldron, slowly stirring the bubbling and mysterious contents. As she stirs the enormous metal pot over the raw flames, she cackles and incants commands to all the elements, transforming the contents into something magical. Should you receive the cauldron card, it indicates the importance of combining a variety of techniques or elements to get the best result. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. This cauldron is a deeply transformational tool. Things change once they are put under pressure. Resilience is being cultivated over time, and this means that you will be able to withstand any negative pressure much more healthily from the inside out. I love that for the rest of the year. I feel like this card is actually you setting better boundaries for the rest of the year with all of the things that you were asking about: work, love, friends. I mean, I know you've mentioned it a few times in our chats of like how things have just kind of been upended, but I feel like Silly Rabbit, like, this is you actually stepping into, okay, I'm done with that chapter. I've learned from that. I'm moving forward. So I'm taking that as absolutely a good sign of like, you've got it all mixed together. You got healthy boundaries. You got the right amount of people, work-life balance. I feel like this isn't saying it's going to be perfect. Like, you're still going to struggle with this, but I feel like you're coming on the other side of it of like, okay, I've learned this lesson. Moving on. See, that one was $5. Yeah, let me see. Anything else for Silly Rabbit? Believe in the impossible. And I didn't forget about you, Amanda. I just wanted to actually see. Okay, you sent the rest. Okay, I'll jump to Amanda next. Believe in the impossible. Silly Rabbit, believe in the impossible. Believe that your year could turn around like that. Like, I really think that's what the intention you need to set is. It didn't let you adjust it to 5. Silly Rabbit, you owe me 1 cent. No, don't worry about it. Okay, Jordan, I'll get to you next, but I want to pop back up to Amanda. Amanda, will my mother pass soon? I need to get some WD-40 on this wheel. Probably would ruin it, but sorry guys, I'm just catching up. Hey everyone, if you're just joining, I apologize. I'm catching up on all of our donated readings. So I'm on Amanda. Amanda just wants to know, will her mother pass soon? Oh, she's not already in spirit. Okay, I was reading that like, will she cross on? Also, members, there should be a cool feature that like once you reach like a new month of your membership, you get like some sort of like highlighted chat thingy. I don't know what that looks like, but we'll see what it looks like when one of you gets there. They just like announced it to me, but I have no idea. I'm not going to do the cards for this one, Amanda. Maybe I'll just pull one as a clarifier. This hat is getting uncomfortable, but I have I've had a bad hair day, so I'm keeping it on. I got a haircut, and the guy cut it way too short. Way too short. Okay. Okay. Amanda, I feel like you're going to hate me for this response, but this is totally what it feels like. It feels like if I tell you yes, it's going to be a no. Like, no, she's not going to pass soon. She's going to live for like a really long time. And then if I tell you yes, she's going to pass soon, she's going to, it's like, no, she'll pass on soon. I got that from this card. So this is the black cat card, but there's like this thing, I think it's called like Schrodinger's box or something. And it's like this philosophical argument that I can't remember what it is, but it's something like there's supposedly a cat in the box and there's something with like a bomb. I can't remember. But the question is like, if you haven't seen the cat in the box, is it really there? It's this whole argument. And I feel like this is like totally one of those things. Like if I say yes, it's going to be a no. And if I say no, it's going to be yes. And that's like definitely what I'm getting. And I'm curious why that would be the case. And I just heard manifestation. So I think this situation can still be influenced by outward parties. Like there's too many variables going on. I feel like your mother still has the option of staying or going. I feel like the influence of those around her, if everyone else loses hope around her, she's going to lose hope and maybe give up. They're really putting it on you. They like want to know, like, they're telling me like, you know how much pain she is in. If she's okay, then, provide hope. But if she's really struggling, it's almost like don't give her that false hope. This is very like seesawing kind of like ethical dance that they're playing. It's interesting. I hope this is making sense, Amanda. Let me read this card. Fortune meets opportunity. Like the black cat is seen as like something negative, but it's actually really positive. Ooh, in traditional folklore, cats were said to have one foot in this world and one in the next. Maybe that's where your mom is at right now. Maybe that's that seesawing energy of like she could get pushed either way depending on what she like. I really feel like she's dependent on what you guys say. Like if a doctor or if you guys were to come in and like fear monger it, she might lose hope. Should the slinky black cat cross your path through this oracle, know that good luck and fortune will be meeting you promptly. Also know that your luck will be even luckier if you're prepared to take advantage of every special opportunity that comes along your way. Honestly, Amanda, kind of overall what I'm getting with this is like she can definitely be provided hope. She can definitely be provided peace. Whether or not she lives very long, like I never kind of go there at all. I don't ever want to say whether that's the case or not. But at the very least, it seems like this is a positive, like, look, you can influence her to have more hope and to feel strong again. So I say run with that because that's only going to make her feel better. I hope that makes sense. That was a very interesting reading. Thank you, Amanda. All right, so I'm going to do Tara Lynn next. I had to kind of jump around. Sorry, I put you off for a bit. Amanda, Tara Lynn. Okay, so Tara Lynn and then PM, and then I think I said I was going to cut it off there, if I'm correct. Yeah. Okay. Any messages from Spirit? Love your channel. Thank you, Tara Lynn. I feel like I recognize your name. It's a very unique name. I try to respond to everybody's comments. The only comments I don't respond to are the people who are arguing with my video. I'm like, okay. All right. Any messages from Spirit? Doing this Halloween oracle. All right, 1, 2. Tara Lynn, I feel like you have spirit activity at your home is what's coming through right now. So just like a quick message of like, make sure you're protecting your house. I feel like you're really open. It's kind of like attracting things to you. Ooh, okay. I don't know. Is this for you or is this for your family? Okay, this might be to be aware of this in your family. Because they're wanting to bring attention to you relationships. I'm kind of like pulled this card so many times tonight, but I'm really feeling like this is like, hey, talking about relationships, family. There are a lot of people that are not authentic. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but those are the people that we're talking about. So I pulled, this card is invisibility, but I pulled it in reverse. And so to me, I'm thinking, okay, the inauthentic people, the ones that are not the good eggs of the family. And I feel like what it is that, so I pulled the werewolf card again, and this was also in reverse. I feel like they are very much like the opposite of the werewolf, like the man before he changes into the wolf. And it's like they're the boring day-to-day status quo type of people. And it's almost like they judge you for being that more primal version of yourself. And when I say primal, I need a better word for it, but it's almost like the real you, the authentic version of you. And I think if you have issues with these family members, it's because you're authentic and you're living this exciting kind of unique life. And I feel like they don't get it because it's so like opposite of them. I actually feel like this might have affected your romantic relationships. Am I right? I'm just going to jump down in case she's commenting. My daughter and I are both mediums. That's so cool. Okay. Well, that makes total sense. There's probably some of your family members who are just like, what? All right, I just want to pull a few more. So, okay, that's the message. Why does she need to know about this? Oh, I think sometimes it influences your need to control. Because I feel like sometimes you want to control them, and maybe, I don't know if it's like, trying to teach them or get them to leave you alone or just, I feel like, you have an outcome that you want with them, even if it's at a very simple level to like leave you alone. But I think, and I also think it's because, you You've also learned the sense of control from them. They do it in a bad way. And sometimes you kind of like have those moments too where you do it to maybe not, maybe it's not the nicest back to them, if that makes sense. And so I think it's like they're trying to make you aware of these boundaries of like, you can't control them, but they can't control you. Like, I feel like they want you to draw like a harder line in the sand because I feel like, okay, I got the energy is gaining momentum. And I got communication in reverse. Like, I feel like it could cause more problems in the future. Maybe it already has. But there's something about relinquishing the control of them and of you. Because I feel like there's just like a part of you that still wishes they could come around or be better. And I feel like you're pretty darn civil with them, but they're just not that way back. And I feel like it's almost like you need to lower your expectations and draw a line with them because I feel like there's not that balance. I feel like they end up taking a little bit more control sometimes. And I pulled the Lady de los Muertos again, which is all about acceptance and equality. And I feel like you're not necessarily going to get that from them. You know that. But it's like, I feel like there's a part of you that literally wants them to change. Like there's some hope there. Ugh. But I don't think it's going to happen. And I think the reason why this is coming up is just maybe it's been a struggle lately and maybe it is going to, come up again in the future. I just feel like overall stronger boundaries need to be like drawn, if that makes sense. My husband left years ago because I'm sorry. Gotcha. I just said, is there anything else? Vampire emotional intelligence. They're kind of vampires to your energy, but just know you definitely have that emotional intelligence. But it's also like a message of don't copy them, don't fall into it, because sometimes that can get you just back into attracting that same energy. Awesome. Thank you, Tara Lynn. Thank you for being here. Good to see new people. All right. Where was I? I think we're almost all caught up. You're welcome, Erica. I discovered your channel recently. Happy I did. I really vibe with your communication style. It's so interesting. Like, that's the number one feedback that I get is like, I really like how you explain things and how you're really like laid back. People say that I explain things really well. I wonder why. I wonder, like, I don't know what I do that's like different than other people. I attribute it to the Virgo and me being very like organized. Good night, Mama Odie. Please email me. Congratulations on winning this Atrodice set. Again, members, you'll have one more chance next week to get the other two. Let's see. I hate when barbers do that. Yes, I know. He did my bangs really well because I was like, I want bangs. I haven't had bangs in years. He did those really well, but the bangs that I asked for really will look better with longer hair. And so he cut it really short. And now it just looks like a big circular bowl in my head. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm about to level up for membership. Woo! Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to see if it said something about like when you come into lives, you'll be able to put up a highlighted message. I don't know. It's brand new, so we'll have to see. Schrodinger's cat is right. That's funny, Sawyer. But maybe your guides didn't want you to hear it yet. Shakes fist in the air. She's afraid of black cats? Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder... To me, even if she's afraid of them for other reasons, I would say she's afraid definitely of passing, of like what this next journey is going to bring. And maybe those have always represented that to her. That's very interesting that came up. Huh. Peculiar rules of quantum theory meant that it could be both dead and alive. Yes, that's what it was. Is you didn't know. Why did I feel like there was a bomb in it? Oh, because it. Well, shit. Why am I thinking of a bomb? Am I combining things? Anyway, but it's like exactly the message that I was getting. It's like if I tell you one way, it'll be the opposite. All right, I think I'm all caught up, you guys. I did say I would do one more free reading of the night. So cut it off there for, right? I got to all of our donations, correct? No, I did not. I missed PM. Thought I was good. All right, then we'll do a free reading. Okay, my daughter had an interview today, was hired. Will it be a good fit for her? Ooh, yay, congratulations. I'm definitely feeling like it'll be a good fit just because, like, the money stress. It's like, oh, I've got a plan now. Ooh, I think so. The light, I pulled dawn again, the light after the darkness. That to me is like a really promising sign, especially if this has been a hard time, either financially or just trying to get a job. I think this is going to be a real symbol of hope in her life. I feel like it's actually going to challenge her. It's really going to push her forward. I don't feel like she's going to stay there forever, but it's definitely like a really good next step. And then I pulled again Lady de los Muertos, and I'm being drawn to the acceptance and equality part of this, and I'm getting like very strong, like she's, people are going to be nice to her, people are going to be kind to her, the equality, she's not going to be treated unfairly. I feel like if I'm right and the bosses are kind of younger, I actually feel like this is a really healthy work environment, which, like, congrats to her. Those are hard to find. I think she's going to be just fine. Again, like, I don't think she'll necessarily be there forever because I really see her, like, growing and changing as a person. Like, I'm specifically seeing, like, 5, 7, 10 years. But that doesn't mean the job is bad. It just means she might outgrow it. Let me see any other. Interesting. This job is really going to bring about like a huge new chapter in her life. Like I'm getting all these big energy cards of like, this says death, like the old, don't freak out about this. This is like a cycle ending and a new one beginning. Like oftentimes death is not seen as like an end. It's seen as something new, something fresh, something that's starting a new chapter. And I feel like she's going to mature a lot. A lot of things will kind of end, maybe an ending of, money stress, an ending of maybe certain relationships that, she might not have as much time for. I feel like though she's going to really step into, oh, my opinions are valid. I'm skilled at things. Like, I really feel like it's going to mature her a lot as a person. And she's going to see it as a time in her life where things really improved. Like, there was an end to whatever there was before and things got better from then on out. I think those are all great cards, honestly, to get. I hope it goes well for her. Okay. Now I got everybody, right? Yeah, I almost missed PM's last one. I think it might be not letting your ego or bias get in the way for communicating better. I forgot what we were talking about. Yes, Elsa, I am done. I'm sorry. At like 2.5 hours, I've kind of reached my limit. Jordan, you know what? I didn't. Thank you for reminding me. This is why I need to like cut myself off. How did I miss that? I'm sorry. It sucks because whenever I scroll down, like I hit a point to where it had loaded before, and then if I go further, it like jumps down. So I often like miss a ton of things because of that. Sorry. Yeah, I totally remember that. Now I'm just making sure I didn't miss anyone else. Okay. Who be my spiritual animal for when I start shamanic work? Ooh. Well, Well, technically, Jordan, you're supposed to find that on your own. That's like one of the first journeys that you're supposed to do is to find your power animal. That's attractive. And mine, one of the first ones that came through for me was an owl. I'll just kind of tune into it. I feel like whatever one I tell you is just going to be another one, but I don't think it's going to be your main one because it's very much that energy is reserved for you to discover them, because a lot of the shamanic belief is that only you can really find them sometimes. Like, I could tune into them, but you're supposed to have that connection with them. I'm just pulling a card for comforting. I was totally seeing a cat, and then I pulled the mummy card. I almost wonder if it's like an Egyptian cat. Bast. Isn't that a guide? I'm pretty sure there's an Egyptian cat guide named Bast. I'll just see if because there's a belief that you have many. I also am seeing air around you as well. I remember for a while there, that's like all the readings I was doing was, there was a small period of time where a lot of people were coming to me for shamanic readings, and everyone wanted to just know what their spirit animal was. You know what I have right next to me is this Forest of Enchantment deck. I use it as a filler for my packaging. So when you guys order Atrodice from me, I just shuffle these, and then I pull one card for you, pack it into the thing, because I'm not a huge fan of this deck. Like, I'm not going to read with it. I bought it on ALI Express, and it's like a knockoff thing. So, like, I just didn't resonate with it, but I didn't want to throw it away. So, but I feel like this has all sorts of animals in it, so. Oh, shut up. Okay, well, I will say that there's bees but there is a house, and in the background, it's probably just a tiny little black dot to you guys. Don't focus on me. There's a house, but in that window, there is a black cat. Ah! I'm going to stick with that. It might not be a black cat to you, but definitely a cat. Definitely a cat. And maybe Egyptian roots. I would explore. That is crazy. Literally, black cat in the window. Nuts. Okay. This bunny is trying to get her life together. I think instead of giving them a reading, you can offer to tell a story with their cards where they can help you. Ooh, I love that. Thank you guys. I really appreciate this. Tell a story with the cards. You know, and I've never come across anyone that's been like, no, I don't read them. But, like, honestly, intuitively, I'm feeling like that's the right thing. I think I just hadn't had any guidance on it before. If they are older and their parents give consent, maybe just a general message for the guidance. And that was the thing, too, is like, I didn't want to impose a belief system that they didn't already believe and really confuse the heck out of them. You know what I mean? And, you know, start saying spirit guides, and then, you know, parents don't believe in that. And then they have to go home and explain to their kid what that means. Like, I don't want to cause that kind of I think I'm all caught up, right? But felt cheeky and asked anyway. That's totally fine. I don't think it's like breaking any rules technically. It's just more that you might doubt what you see yourself if somebody else is telling you what your spirit animal is. It's so much stronger and more powerful when you can do that journey yourself and meet them yourself, because you're like, no, I found them. I found them. You know what I mean? Bast is an Egyptian goddess. And that might just been another guide, but I think whoever you end up connecting with, it might be totally different, but definitely a guide for you. All right, I did say I would do one last free reading of the night. We were just going to do a random selection. We only got 4 people in here, so I am thinking of a color. If you can think of the color that I'm thinking of, then you get the reading. We'll do the one last reading for tonight, and then I'll kind of do my send-off for anyone watching replay. You jump in. You jumped in right at the perfect moment. Weekends at Carrie. Oh my gosh, and you got it. It was green. Weekends at Carrie's. I assume your name is Carrie? Look at you, just popped right in, got a free reading, bam. It was green. So that was my last free reading of the night. So Carrie, let me know what question you have. If you have any question, I will pull just a few cards. Wow. Isn't that nice how that works out? I feel like when that happens, it's like your guides are like putting you in front of me right at the right time. And it's just like, you're supposed to get here. You're supposed to get this. And they give you the answer like right away. Not surprised my spirit animal is a cat in relation to my profile picture. That's kind of funny. Oh, and I swear I wasn't even looking at that, so that was not like a bias in my head at all. You're welcome, Jordan. Thank you for being here. Thank you all for your donations. While I wait for Carrie's question, I'll just kind of do my wrap up here. So again, we've got 2 more dice to choose from. So members, 1 week from tonight, we're going to have our member-only live. We're going to do some psychic development games, and we'll jump into readings. Right now, our member-only lives are so small that basically everyone gets a reading. I don't want to promise that forever. But you guys will also get a chance at getting either one of the pumpkin dice. So we'll have the cloudy pumpkin dice and the clear pumpkin dice next week. So come back if you really want the Atrodice, maybe join the membership. I also have a higher level membership that gets you exclusive videos. And so now I've got like 4 videos built up. We've had it for 4 months already. It's kind of crazy to me. But consider that even if you like join after a while, you can have access to all the previous videos. And this week's video, is going to be a Halloween Picket card reading, connecting to your loved ones in spirit. And then next week, hopefully, I'm going to be doing a mansion tour, a spirit mansion tour. We need to agree on the title so it's not too like woo-woo for them. We'll see. I'm hoping. Basically going to film it either Monday or Wednesday night and then edit it in a day, and then it's going to go up. So weekends at Carrie's, let me know if you have a question. And Lori, I will say, if you're still with me, thank you for offering to film. Like, I legitimately kept that in the back of my mind. But of course, all of my guys were like first to volunteer, which is so not normal for them. I was like, now you guys are going to help me? They've been not the most supportive of my channel. But this video, apparently they're like, ghost hunt, yeah, let's do it. I hope that works. What works? I don't think you send a question yet. Carrie, make sure you get it over to me. I think some of you guys might be watching on a delay. Maybe. I don't know. Let's see. So that was the videos coming up this week. Again, we've got the Instagram going on, so follow me on Instagram. And members, next Tuesday night is going to be a member-only night. So if you're not a member, you probably won't see me go live, but I will be on the following Tuesday. But anyone can become a member. It's not like exclusive. You are all welcome. Yeah, I do remember that, Lori. Thank you. I really appreciate that. I'm curious about my career, if something big is coming. You're like an entrepreneur, Carrie? Like you work for yourself, correct? Because I totally feel the energy of you trying to manifest something big. I feel like you've got like a lot of projects going on. Like you're trying to get a bunch of things rolling in the hopes that one of them will succeed. Is sort of what it feels like. I want to. Well, and I pulled the witch card again. It's interesting to me that she's green. It's like, is this the Wizard of Oz version of a witch? The earthly weaver of the worlds. Really, like, how I was reading this card earlier was like manifestation. It was like believing in the magic that you create, that you can have an idea, that you can set an intention, and it will manifest into something. And I pulled this card in reverse. So to me, that says you aren't fully there yet. You aren't fully in the belief that, you know, you could have that you actually can control your reality, your career. Like, I feel like it's very like external to you right now. Like, the only way I'm going to make money is if XYZ happens, or if this person gives me a job, or if this, you know, these clients, if I get X amount of clients. And this is really trying to encourage you to think outside the box and think that, no, you can manifest things. You are a magical person that can bring things into your life purely through the power of intention, which I think is a very hard concept for people to grasp, even myself. And I feel like it takes like a really long time to understand that, okay, my thoughts create my reality. So I would really start with like manifestation, law of attraction. I feel like you kind of already know about that, Carrie, but really start examining the thoughts, like the beliefs in your head as like, what do I say to myself that, you know, why I can't have this? Like, what is it like you're saying you want to manifest this, but that obviously there's something there that's saying you can't. So what are those things that are can'ts in your mind, and how can we get rid of those? Oh my gosh. And I just pulled the Black Cat card again, but the fortune meets opportunity. Oh, I love this because in the book Get Rich Lucky Bitch card, which is like purely a money manifestation book, and just like positive money mindset. So if you are interested in that, maybe check that out. But she says luck is when opportunity meets like preparedness or something like that. And like that's the energy that's coming through, is like you kind of see it right now as like you have to be lucky to create some of this stuff. Like it's only just going to happen upon you at random. But your guides really are wanting you to get into the mindset of like, no, you can create this. You just have to be ready for it, and you have to be looking for the opportunities. And if you're both in that zone, it's almost going to look like on the outside that you were lucky and you did manifest this thing out of thin air. But, you know, on the inside, you know, you can look at it and confidently say, you know, there wasn't really luck. It was just that I was ready, but I was also paying attention to the signs, and I was very open, and I was having like a very clear intention. So I hope that kind of gives, I feel like pulling back, I think your guides just want you to focus on your thoughts first. Like, what are you manifesting? How are you talking about your reality? And that's going to be the first place to start, because you really need to get out of your head on like, you can't have this, or you need something else to happen, or it's going to just fall into your lap and be lucky. Like, really get into the space that you can create this reality for yourself. Awesome. That's so funny, Carrie, that you just like jumped in randomly. I hope that helped. I'm sort of signing off, you guys. Just a few reminders. I already talked about my membership, my videos coming up. I've got it giveaway going on Instagram. Again, let's see, Mama Odie won the dice for tonight. There's one more dice set available that's going to go out as a free giveaway, and that'll be next week during our member only live. Anybody can join those. And let's see, I talked about my videos coming up. I've got like my notes here. And yeah, if you're new here, I'm also on Facebook, also on Instagram, also on TikTok. I found a few of you guys following me on TikTok recently. It's so good to like see other people and like what you look like. Haha, I was waiting. You're welcome. Let's see. I think that's it. Members, remember, if you are coming to the live next week, to jump on over to the Facebook group and share a photo of somebody you want to connect with. All the instructions are in there. That's kind of like the pre-homework for the member event. So the member lives, we always start by practicing a psychic game or an exercise. That's something we don't do on the normal live nights. And so next week, we're going to be practicing our membership abilities. And so our member lives are basically the last Tuesday of every month. So your homework is over there. Again, that's totally optional. You can always come to the member only lives and just not participate in the games. It's totally fine. But yeah, I think that's it, you guys. I think my family members / guys don't want me to feel disappointed on my birthday, which is sometimes what tends to happen on that day. Oh, yes, that could definitely be the case. I feel like that's sometimes me as well. And it's like, as soon as you lower your expectations going into it, it ends up being a lot better. Oh, I hope so. Have a good birthday. That's like pretty darn soon, right? Spa weekend. I know, I'm turning 30 in February, and I'm kind of like, all right, it's been a while since I've done anything like big for my birthday. I don't want to do anything big because like not into like the drinking or the partying at all. But I want to do something. Like I don't want it to just like be that we make a nice dinner and that's it. Like it's 30. I got to do something. And it's already coming up here in February. Oh, I need to figure out what I'm going to do. Awesome, you guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. I will see you next week as well. And hopefully by next week's live, you'll know if I ended up getting into this mansion or not. I haven't heard back from them. I'm just like crossing my fingers big time. We'll see. All right, guys. Have a wonderful, and I will see you next time. Adios, and happy Halloween.